Hey, all you early birds, if you type in hashtag give me the bird, you'll be entered to win a pack of Dragon Shield sleeves, courtesy of our sponsor, Dragon Shield. Type in hashtag give me the bird and hit that like button. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
How is it going, chat?
How's it going?
Folks hanging out here on this Wednesday.
Hashtag give me the bird. Make sure that you click that like button. Yes, you. And let's settle in. How's everybody's night going? Jake, how's your night going?
Good, man. Pretty good. I've had a little bit of a headache today, but I'm okay. How about yourself?
Sorry about your headache.
It is what it is. Headaches happen.
Personally, doing great. Favorite MLB team wise? Pretty horrible, honestly. Really hate the position we're in. But you know, those kinds of things, they happen. October is a cruel, cruel mistress. You think about her all year, and then you hang with her, and she stabs you in the face.
I feel very stabbed in the face because, before we crack into this stream, as somebody who watched what would that be, the AL East that I watched all year, to have both the Orioles and the Rays out already is pretty crazy. Those teams are at each other's heels the entire year, and they're both already gone. So yeah, it's pretty wild to see how October can shake out. For Atlanta, do they have the rest of the games in Philly's territory? How's that going to work?
We've got one more game tomorrow in Philadelphia that we have to win. And then if we win, when we win, we've got a day off Friday, and then we're back in the ATL Saturday to try and close it out. But got to get through tomorrow at PNC, so
yeah. Okay.
We shall see. Today was brutal. Yeah. But that's okay.
I really don't want to see just like Texas versus Texas in the end of this. I'm not gonna lie. It's just.
Last note, if you're hanging out this early, you are still considered an early bird, and we do appreciate you. Click that like button, type in hashtag give me the bird. We're gonna give away some Dragon Shields. Winner here gets their choice. Y'all, these just came out. Truth and Justice. Dual matte gold and silver choice. Hashtag give me the bird. 2 more seconds to drop that in chat. Make sure that you are entered to win. We've got
Bobby Z, 29 months. I'm just gonna go through here, say hey to some people today.
Yeah, we got 29 months on the token creatures, Bobby. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you. We crushed our 100 goal. Quantum last stream donated 30 memberships, so that'll do it. That'll get you up to the 100 goal. So now we're working on our 150 goal. So Bobby, we appreciate you joining the token creatures. Reminder that all the token creatures get our anthem. +1/+1, flying, first strike, vigilance, and destructible. But we do have to sacrifice one of you at the beginning of every turn, so good luck on that.
I see shout out to the mods that are hanging out. We got Brody Ham here,
what
Bobby
up?
Z, who we already said hello to, a BuzzFuzz honorable mod, essentially.
Shadow
Kraken Jank.
Crimson Leaf
Jank is here.
Crimson Leaf, you are the winner. What I need you to do, Crimson Leaf, is message me on Discord. Say, hey, my name's Crimson Leaf. I won the Dragon Shields on the sleeve on the 11th. I want the Justice ones, or I want the Truth ones. You can see the colors right there, gold and silver. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Dragon Shield. Crimson Leaf, congratulations. Message me on Discord.
Congrats.
If you're not in the Discord, everybody should be. But if you're not, I just dropped the link there in chat. We got 3 major things to talk about tonight. First off, our stream is sponsored tonight by the MTG Summit in Salt Lake City on October 26, 27, 28,
29,
and 29.
That is right. It's going to be essentially that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're gonna talk about the Magic Summit today. We're gonna talk about some of our favorite events that are going to be going on there. I know that we've talked about the summit, but we're gonna dive a little bit deeper and talk about what we would be playing. And maybe we're gonna get to play one of these things. They are gonna have on-demand two-headed giants, so I'm gonna try to figure out, or we're gonna try to figure out a time where maybe Joel and I could go do some two-headed, because we did not get to do any of that in Vegas as much as we would have liked to play one of the typical events.
We were making a video.
Yeah, that's right. But playing two-headed here is going to be a goal of mine, because this is an event that's a lot more centered around gameplay. There's going to be a ton of gameplay going on there. There are going to be some big events. There's a dual land event. There's also an event where you can win the Moxen. So there's a lot going on, and so it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about that, but we're also going over some cards right around the $10 level that are some pretty good, strong EDH cards, and then we're also going to talk about Doctor Who.
Yeah, we're covering Doctor Who, y'all.
It's just so much, right?
I'm out of mental space this year, I feel like, and we still have another standard set to go, and so
yeah.
We did go through the set. We picked some cards.
Yes, we did.
Picked some cards.
There are some fun cards in there. There are a ton of reprints in this set, but there's also, I believe, 180 something new cards, 183 new cards, I think.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about our favorites from those. We're not going to be going over reprints and stuff like that. Like, yes, Past in Flames is a cool card, but we already know about Past in Flames. We're looking through the new Doctor Who stuff to see what stands out.
That's what we've got planned for tonight. Anything else that we should cover or talk about, chat? Because we're talking Doctor Who.
Cracky Jinx says, did you get your birthday present, Joel?
Oh, no, I did not. I have not been to the P.O. box. I apologize. I got to send some sleeves out to our Commander League winners from last month. So I'll be going to the post office this week.
That's right. We need to do that. Yep.
If you want to participate in our Commander League, you should definitely join our Patreon. That's pretty good. That's too fast. Oh, that's too much.
It's a TARDIS. It certainly is. Yeah, that TARDIS promo, I'm pretty sure, is sitting around like a nice little $80 right now. Tidy little $80. But Doctor Who is in full-fledged the moment of hype. It's in the hype moment.
Oh, yeah. You want to start with the Doctor Who stuff? We can just do that slideshow.
Sure. I guess that we could just go ahead and talk about Doctor Who a little bit. We'll talk about some of the cards that stood out, and obviously you'll let us know what we missed.
First things first, I got to choose a background for this video. I'm trying to find... I like this one, kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This one's pretty swag.
What did you type in? Time?
I typed in portal loop. Should I type
portal loop?
What should I type in?
Yeah,
it's got to be a loop.
Well, let's see what time does.
Okay,
time loop. Time loop. Let's see what that is.
Okay.
What does this mean to people? Ooh, okay.
Like, see, this is too chaotic. It can't be too chaotic, or everybody's gonna get sick.
They're gonna be like, dude, I just can't.
This is pretty good. This is pretty intense.
That one gives me like Final Boss vibes a little bit.
That's too much.
Yeah, that one is too much.
This is too much. Oh my God. Can you imagine watching us talk
an
about
entire video of that?
Watching us talk about 28 cards and this shit is flying at you the whole time.
Yeah, that is probably not going to work.
I don't think that's the route we want to go. That's too much. Oh, that one's good, but too much.
That's got some time vibes going on.
Oh, it's definitely got some time vibes. Is that one too much, chat?
I don't know if it is. I think it's pretty good.
Do you think this one's appropriate?
Owen is already throwing up. Owen is having some trouble out there.
Well, that's the one.
We got to be careful.
For sure.
We got to be careful of Owen. Bobby says, after just having a safety meeting, the more the better.
Imagine a card right here. Is this giving everybody solid vibes? I mean, the flavor here is on point. It is kind of...
No, let's go for less movement. Let's go back to your portal loop. I think we're going to find something good in the portal. This is just too fast. I mean, this is some crazy stuff.
I think this one will work, man.
Do you think so? We could just go for it and see what happens. It is a little fast. I kind of like that one with the clouds and the light source behind it. That's kind of cool.
Oh my god, this one's on the nose. All right, we've spent too much time on a portal.
What do you think of that one, the flight above the clouds?
And it doesn't have the vibe. I feel like the whole vibe is like this is the vibe right here. TARDIS flying through this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it has to be a vibe that is good for the audience's eyes too.
Yeah. Watch this one. This is good. Chat, how are we feeling about this? That's pretty. This seems pretty Doctor Who-y. Bobby is in the right mind to tell us if that's a yes, and he is hard yes on this one.
All right, we're going for it. Hey, you know, we don't have to watch it. You guys do.
Well, actually, we do. At least to shoot the video.
Yeah.
All right. Let's change it from the Ravnica background.
This one with the stairs would have been better if there was like a person trying to frantically race down the stairs the entire time.
Looking up at us like it's our fault.
Yeah. Oh god, that would have been a really cool background.
Today I saw a meme. You know that iconic picture of the Beatles where they're all like on a railing looking over down at the camera and the camera's looking up at them? I think it's an album cover.
Help.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I saw a meme earlier today with that picture and it said, POV, you just got thrown off the balcony by the Beatles and they know no one will ever believe you because they're too famous. They're all just like smiling down at the camera. Delete. Black, red. Oh yeah, this is perfect. For some reason it started us right in the middle of the list here. All right.
All right, so everybody, you've seen the list.
These are a little out of order, but whatever. Cybermen Squadron is our last one, Jake.
Okay.
We'll start with Everybody Lives. This is the one that everybody talks about anyway. All right, chat. Everybody say hey to YouTube. You're going to see this on YouTube later. Yeah, dude. Bobby Z, this background. This is the one, man. This is good.
Oh. Thank you, Andy.
Everybody say hey, YouTube. Everybody say hey, YouTube. You could have been here live. Why aren't you here live, YouTube? All right, Jake, against all odds, Wizards of the Coast continues to print new cards every hour of every minute of every day in an infinite time loop. I've now connected it to Doctor Who. Transition complete. Jake and I went through and we got to talk about some Doctor Who cards. We picked some out for y'all.
Yeah, you know, it makes sense that they finally got on board with a set of Time Lords over there, which is probably how they have so much time to continually come up with new cards constantly. I don't know how they do. Doctor Who has brought us, I believe, just north of 180 new cards into Magic the Gathering that are not reprints. If you don't know, there are a ton of reprints in Doctor Who that are in the Commander decks, but we are going to be talking about all of the new cards. What are our favorite cards from the new stuff? That's what we're doing. So we're going to start things off with Everybody Lives. If you do enjoy this video by the end, I do ask you, please subscribe. That is a great way to support the channel, and it does a whole heck of a ton more than just sign you up for the next video. So come support. Let's talk about this card. 1 white, 1 other. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life this turn, and players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. And what's really funny is this card does not say exile Everybody Lives at the end of it. So you can get it back. And imagine getting this on an Isochron Scepter.
Also, I was going to say, check that casting cost. It can go on an Isochron. This card seems nutty. This card seems like it is going to salt some players into very finely brined meats. I think that hexproof being attached to this, players gaining hexproof as well, not just creatures. And for 2 mana, I mean, you can just cast this, Jake, and save any old creature they're trying to remove. Just be like, nope. That's the floor of this, is your creature gets saved perfectly. Hexproof and indestructible. The ceiling of this is you won instead of you lost. Right?
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. It's just a crazy
like a
card.
super fog, right? It's just like, yeah.
And this is the one that everybody's talking about, right? This is the card that everybody wants and everybody knows is just going to be the staple from this set. So we had to talk about it, right?
Have to talk about it. You have a card that quickly joins the ranks of Teferi's Protection, Heroic Intervention, all that stuff. It's just right up there, top tier card.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Psychic Paper. For 2, you have an artifact equipment. As Psychic Paper becomes attached to a creature, choose a creature card named and creature type.
That's the relevant part.
Yep. Equipped creature has ward 1 and can't be blocked, and its name and creature type are the last chosen name and creature type. So pretty wild, man.
The fact that it is a 2 mana equipment that then equips for 2 and it just can't be blocked straight up and gets a little mini hexproof with the ward 1. Ward 1's not going to deter much, but it is a deterrent a little bit. You're going to get into some shenanigans, being able to make any creature type, potentially any creature card name
On the attach.
Yeah.
Which is cool too. It's not like this kind of thing where Psychic Paper gains a type until the end of the game. You know, it's like this is happening each time it becomes attached. So
yeah.
Stays relevant.
This is just going to be so shenanigan. I can just tell. And so any creature decks right out of the gate, any creature type decks are going to want to give this a look-see. Any Voltron is going to want to give this a look-see. 2 mana with the 2 equipped to make it unblockable, just straight up unblockable. Pretty wild. I like that one a lot. Everything Comes to Dust is a big mana spell, but that first word in the text says convoke, and that's why it's sexy. 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, with 3 white pips to cast this sorcery that says exile all creatures except those that share a creature type with a creature that convoked this spell. All artifacts and all enchantments. That's the exile. So you're exiling all creatures, all artifacts, and all enchantments, but the creatures that are exiled are the ones that don't share a type with the creature that convoked the spell. What I'm saying is creature type decks.
It's very good.
Want this like crazy. Creature type decks with a white pip in their color identity. This was made for you. Exile everything. This was made for you.
Yeah, I'm honestly fine with it in a tokens deck too. It's going to thrive there. You know, if you've been making a bunch of Baloths off of a Rampaging Baloth or something like that, now all of a sudden you've got a bunch of 4/4s on the field.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead and just use this and just go to town with your 4/4s. This is the kind of card that, to me, is a little bit of a sleeper, and then people go, wait, Convoke is good, and this easily slots into decks that want this. Token decks.
Exactly.
Weenie decks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Travis M made a good comment there in chat, said this could totally be reprinted outside of Doctor Who, I feel, and that's a really good point. This is a card, and I like when they design these cards. Everybody Lives. I also feel like that could be, I know it's a Doctor Who reference, but I really feel like that could also be reprinted outside. And so I appreciate them taking that time, making that effort to make these reprintable, versus cards like the last Triomes run we got in Capenna, which are like named characters to that plane in the name of the land. So I like when we can get a little reprintability built into some of these cards, because Jake, people are going to discover cyber conversion here, and they're going to be like, oh wow, is this an incredibly premium removal for 2 mana?
This is a great card. I just kind of want to like piggyback off what you were saying.
Yeah.
If a card like the last card we're talking about was called like the Doctor's Reckoning, right?
Right.
It's a lot harder to put that card into.
Becky blows up the evil robots, and you're like, well, that's not going to work in the future.
Yeah, we can't really put that into, you know, the new Phyrexia set that comes out in a couple of years, but we know that we want to reprint it somewhere. Yeah, so yes, very thoughtful with the name of these cards. Yeah, let's talk about this great blue removal spell. We have stuff like Reality Shift. We have stuff like Pongify. This card is really strong. Target creature face down. It's a 2/2 Cyberman artifact creature. Cyberman. You read that correctly? I don't really know the reference.
We don't know what that means, but it turns it into a Cyberman.
It's just like, if you have a big card with a big effect, it might just be easiest to instant speed for 2 blue. Just flip it over and now it's a 2/2.
I love that.
Enough said.
It puts it away. It
puts it away, dude.
It's almost like face down is another type of exile, because then they've got to figure out some way to kill it. They got to chump with it, or they got to throw it into a sacrifice effect or something, because we're just gonna turn off that effect. It's like creature loses all abilities type of thing going on here. I really
shout out to Jank. Jank says Cyberman are the Borg of Doctor Who. They just convert people into cyborgs.
Nice. That's okay, like cool. Saying the leprechauns to unicorns ratio. I still don't understand what we're talking about.
I know what the Borg are. The Borg are just... We won't get into the Borg.
Flatline is a 3-mana instant that we also like. 1 blue, 2 other. Creatures your opponents control have base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. Dragonlord Silumgar, given everything -1/-1. Oopsie, I just wiped your whole board for 3 mana. Is this... I know we've got to combine some other stuff. We just can't drop our life total into it. But this is reminiscent of like blue Toxic Deluge to me. It's going to bring everything down to 1, and you just got to figure out a way to finish them off.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Instant speed,
for me,
too.
Like, it pairs so well with Pestilence, right? It's
oh my god.
Like,
well, you're living the dream.
You're living the dream there. Really quick, shout out to Kingdoms TV hanging out. Says, Jake and Joel, you can both play in one of our 2-headed giant drafts where VIPs play with you too. There we go. We got it.
There it is.
From the source. We're going to be doing some 2-headed giant.
Hell yeah.
And we are going to be talking more about the Magic Summit. So make sure to stick around, because we're going to dive in a little bit about some of the events and stuff after we get through our Doctor Who segment here. But thanks for popping in, Kingdoms.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming by. A pendulum message there. Hey, real quick, Jack, the music is always on. I apologize that it's messing with yours, pal. I really am. But you can noted. Message received. Okay. So yeah, Flatline is borderline supreme removal, and I really think, responding to an attack with this, oof.
Oh yeah, now all of their guys are running in as 0/1s just into your like Llanowar elf that's like, and you die. Right. And you're dead, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
We're just gonna freaking slash you down with little paring knives when you get to the line. It's just like, all right, we're slaughtering the goats. Yeah, it's very strong. It's a very strong card. Nice reactive card.
Ooh, Goblin Sharpshooter. That's what you do.
But
you flatline, you Goblin Sharpshooter, and you're just going pew, 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 pew.
I mean, that's a wonderful, wonderful, not Superman, a restrictive way of doing it. That's great. That's just, you cast this card and hopefully you got Sharpshooter out there to finish the business.
Yo, check this one out, man. I still have to reread this card because every time I read it, I'm just like, this is insanity, I believe. 2 blue, 2 other for a 3/3 alien zombie horror with Island Walk. Don't see Land Walk that often anymore. Love seeing that.
That's pretty sweet.
Then it has an ability called Water Always Wins that says whenever the Flood of Mars attacks, put a flood counter on another target creature or a land. If it's a creature, it becomes a copy of the Flood of Mars. And if it's a land, it becomes an island in addition to its other types. So you can have your creatures become copies of Flood of Mars. And so you can spread the Flood of Mars sideways and create a lot of alien zombie horrors. And then every time they're attacking, they are giving the land to the opponent that is needed to make them unblockable. And so this is a casual card because it's kind of slow, but it seems really fun. And you just be like, oh my God, I've gotten defeated by the Flood of Mars.
This gives me Runechanter's Pike vibes, hardcore, right?
Yeah, dude.
Because we're trying to get, and it's very easy to turn somebody's land into an island with this card. and then we're just getting through with it. But yeah, the thing is when you're cracking on in with a 3/3, that's kind of a bummer. But as soon as you put a Rune Chanter's Pike on it, we've got a threat.
Now we're cooking.
If we can get through with a Flood of Mars with Rune Chanter's Pike, this is built into the right kind of deck, which I think it runs alongside stuff like, like Aetherling and that kind of stuff. I do think it's a casual card. It's easy to kill, but we could say that about so many cards, right?
Yeah, lots of creatures.
That's right. A board very quickly fills up, and yeah, this can get out of hand.
Yeah,
cool.
I was also then going to talk about it, not just on the offense, but in a defense capacity as well. BuzzFuzz said it there in chat. You can transform your opponent's creatures as well. We just talked about the offensive capabilities, but it becoming a copy of the Flood of Mars, suddenly my entire deck revolves around my commander's ability.
Yes.
Is now a 3/3 that can turn things into islands. Now, granted, if they then get to attack with their flood, the flood spreads. So the floods will just get everywhere. But it can also be an interesting removal. I just think this is really cool. This card actually makes me want to go watch this one episode because it seems kind of up my alley if it's kind of sci-fi and kind of horror, and I think that's kind of cool. I think that could be cool. So I like Flood of Mars. Also, I'm interested in Hunted by the Family, Jake. I know I put this one on the list. Did you see this one?
No, I'll read it. 2 blue, 5 other. I do remember this red balloon.
Yeah.
2 blue, 5 other. Choose up to 4 target creatures you don't control. For each of them, that creature's controller faces a villainous choice. That creature becomes a 1/1 white human creature and loses all abilities, or you create a token that's a copy of it. Yeah, there's some stuff going on here. Big effect here for 7 mana.
Yeah.
When you get to this kind of casting cost, you have to start looking at stuff like Expropriate, right? Like things that are really, high cost, big effects. Is it a big enough effect? It's pretty cool removal in blue.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's not going to win you the game. You're right. And if you're casting one spell for 7 mana, it better damn near close win you the game.
Backbreaker, right?
Right. And so this one doesn't have that backbreaker feel to it, but I still like it because it's very political. It doesn't restrict you to like one opponent, one creature choice. I can choose all 4 creatures from you if I want to, or I can go 2 and 2 or 2/1/1 or whatever I want to do here. And then it's either like that thing is now just a 1/1 straight up, or I also get one as well. Let's get nuts.
Yeah. So obviously they
Fun
are
politics.
going to give you whatever their manageable stuff is, right?
Exactly.
That's where this card falls short, is like it does give them a choice, but any of the stuff that's going to be extremely difficult gets turned into a 1/1. So interesting card, cool card. Next up, we have Reverse the Polarity. For 2 blue and 1 other, we have a modal card. It's an instant speed. Choose 1. Counter all other spells. Switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn, and creatures can't be blocked this turn. I like that can't be blocked, and counter all other spells is relevant too. The one in the middle, I think it's going to have some niche application that'll probably be the least chosen mode, but sometimes switching around power and toughness can be a way to clean things up.
I like that. It's the 2 modes, the counter all other spells and creatures can't be blocked this turn. That's probably what you're going to use mostly. I really think that this one's going to give some fun options to creature attacking decks that are in blue. This one will be a fun one to be a counter spell, but it's also an offense. So it's a defense and an offense modal card. And so I think as an instant, it's a really good choice. Vashta Narada is another one that just kind of gets nuts if you let it live too long. A black and 2 other for an indestructible 1/1 with shadow.
Oh man, how did I not see this? This card is good.
Indestructible with shadow, and it says at the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Vashta. The thing is, you don't have to wait that long. Some of the best +1/+1 counter decks have black in the commander color identity. You get 1 +1/+1 counter on Vashta, and suddenly we're off to the races. They've got
and it's each.
Exile.
It just it's each. So it just kind of sits there like a Black Tauren. What is the card? The red changeling, Tauren Marauder. It just kind of sits there and just
Taurian
casually
the changeling.
Tauren Mauler. Yeah. I don't know why I got that wrong. But yes, this is one of those cards that just sits there, right? It's even the same casting cost. So it's like you have to get it with -1/-1 counters, or you are UCKED.
F in the F.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool, generically good black creature. Obviously, it's going to thrive in +1/+1 counter decks so that you can get that amped and ramped hard, fast. But I think it's also going to thrive in aristocrat decks as a beater. It's not on theme, but you can take advantage of what you're already going to be doing synergistically, sacking tokens. Just sack one on your turn, then one on their turn, then one on their turn, then one on their turn, then one on your turn. And this alien horror that has to be exiled is just growing like crazy and punching through. One cycle through, you're on 4 counters, right? Or you could get one on your and be 5 by the time you're attacking with this thing.
That's what I like about this card is when you get in a clogged up board state, you look to cards like this to see, how do I close out the game? Another shout out to Runechanter's Pike, and that's all I'll say. It's just like anything that has unblockable or pseudo unblockable.
Right.
I'm just like, figure out a way to get an equipment on it. Put this thing with, like, Pike aside, put a good sword on it, something like that. Use an equipment on this card because this is the kind of card that wants it.
Ooh, Jank, that's a really good point. Jank commented, Volrath the Shapeshifter loves this guy. Any cards, any of those creatures that like take the form of something else that's in the graveyard, that kind of thing, this is a hell of a creature to copy. Hell of a creature to copy. Holy crap.
And any sort of, doubling season type effect that's going to make sure.
I mean, it is indestructible. It's not legendary. I just noticed that this thing is not legendary. For some reason, that hadn't even been registering in my brain. Start cloning this thing. And my sweet Vashta Narada.
And then you make sure that you have some sort of hexproof effect to make sure that nobody does anything to them.
Dude.
This card can just be a blowout.
I like that card. I like that card a lot. Jake, what about Decaying Time Loop here?
So this, to me, seems like a pretty strong card at instant speed. This is just going to go into any sort of wheels type strategy, or if someone needs to fill up the graveyard, this is a card for them. It's like a super faithless looting. It's just a wheel effect. It's just an instant speed good wheel effect. When I look at wheel effects, I'm typically like looking at sorcery speed stuff, right? This is instant speed and it has retrace. I'm a fan, dude. I think that a lot of people are going to like this card, and getting that redundancy out of it, being able to do it again, is a big deal.
After Baldur's Gate came out, I played the Raphael Demons and Devils deck for a while. I built it as a demon reanimator thing. Get a giant demon in the graveyard, reanimate it. Pretty classic. Because Raphael could then come in after I had reanimated something the turn before, have a big like 7/7 in the air or something. Raphael hits, gives it lifelink, and suddenly I'm getting chunks back as I'm swinging. Anyway, the getting cards in the graveyard can sometimes be a stumbling block for decks like that. When you just kind of assume that there's going to be a ton of great cards to just fill your graveyard up automatically, but it can be a job that you've got to pull off sometimes. Cards like this, I would have run this card in that deck so that I could just pitch the 5 in my hand, draw 5 more, and now I'm ready to reanimate with some of the cards that I've drawn. So I think again the Retrace 2 gives it some longevity in Commander.
I want to say this really quick because someone earlier in this segment did say, I really like that all of these cards have been tastefully put into an MTG set instead of all of this IP needing to be its own game.
Thumbs Magic up for Universes Beyond, bro.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it, dude. I know like early on people were a little bit resistant. People were like, please don't let that happen in my game. But when you have other fandoms like this, that like 99.9% chance it's going to die if it gets its own card game, right? Magic, it gets to live. Let's move on.
No. I'm completely with you. just to ride that tangent for another half second, I think that a lot of the early resistance to it was because it was presented for the first time in a time boxed purchase that had to be purchased right then, or it was never going to be purchasable again. And so you had resistance to crossover IPs as Magic cards, and you had resistance to limited time purchase windows, but they've wholly eliminated that as a concern with Secret Lair. That's not really their approach with Secret Lair anymore. Even though it is still time boxed, you've got a whole month or more to get it. So yeah. I think as people get IPs that they actually like, they're going to go, oh, it's not that bad. And they're going to realize they were being selfish and not thinking about other people.
I mean, we have a buddy that, jumped back into Magic when Lord of the Rings came around, and he was like, I'm not going to mess with these decks, but, and I know I complained about Walking Dead, but I did buy the Lord of the Rings stuff. Saying. So yeah, anyway, this card, Delete, we have a sorcery speed, 2 red and X. Delete deals X damage to each non-artifact creature and each player. It's like kind of like Earthquake vibes, right?
Yeah, it is Earthquake vibes. This has been a theme over the last 2 years. There have been more and more. They can't just keep printing board wipe, or they'll just have a bunch of redundant, all the same cards. And so they've been printing board wipes with gates through the middle of them for certain things, with pathways to save, to not taking the damage or not being wiped. We looked at one already in this segment. Delete for artifact creature decks is going to be huge. This is just another way to burn them down, save your side of the battlefield because you came prepared. You're only running this in an artifact creature deck so that your creatures dodge delete. But the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned with these board wipes that go into specific archetypes. I like that. I'm a big fan of
this. This helps end the game too. I love that it's doing it to each player.
And each player,
that's
yes,
just
dude.
Such a big effect. You could put this in red green. You could put this into like a big mana, just like you're running a bunch of fast mana type stuff, and make this card relevant. You want to be able to cast it for a lot, in my opinion, but modal stuff like this, where you can kind of flex, it has flexibility, which is good. Yeah, fun little card.
Yeah, I like Jank's comment. It totally trolls the Solemn Simulacrum player because it's like, sorry, you don't get the trigger off that thing dying because it's not gonna die.
That's right.
Displaced Dinosaurs I think is going to turn into one of the most cheatable onto the field cards in the entire set. 7 mana for a 7/7. It says, as a historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types. Let's count what historic permanents are. Every single artifact, every single legendary, and also sagas, who cares? You create a food token, oopsie, it's a 7/7. You create a treasure clue, whatever, oopsie, it's a 7/7. This one is going to combo hell, bro. This one is going to just like combine this with Dockside Extortionist, and you've created 800 7/7 dino creatures with haste.
Yeah, because you have to have fervor out there or an effect like that. You want to make sure that you have haste. You got to have haste.
Yes.
But this card is an absolute just a lightning rod. You got to deal with it because it will get out of hand quickly.
So quickly.
And yes, food, any sort of little dinky token like that, artifact token, is going to be a big problem if you're able to swing with it in that moment.
Give me my silly Timmy stuff. That's what I want. The Sisterhood of Karn is a little less Timmy, but still kind of Timmy. 2 mana for a 0/0, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, and whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Sisterhood of Karn. Any card, any deck that is exiling in them, and you can cast them from exile, your commander. There's a lot of things that are going to trigger Sisterhood of Karn, and it's not just add a counter to, it is double the number of counters on.
Fun little bear here, or not a bear, casting cost of a bear, but this could get out of hand pretty quickly. This could get out of hand quickly. I don't typically gravitate toward decks like this. This is
not your kind of
alley.
thing. This is my kind of
it's
thing.
an interesting card.
I'm going to play Sisterhood of Karn. Because of this card, it's going to enter with the extra +1/+1 counter on it. I'm going to dump 3 more on it over the course of just some regular stuff. Cast my commander. Now it's a 10/10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just we're not going to be casting. We don't necessarily have to be casting spells from anywhere other than our hand too many times if we're building this correctly, because all we need to do is double up once, maybe twice, and suddenly, if we make that thing like unblockable, we're in business.
Yeah, next up we have Alistar the Brigadier. We have 1 blue, 1 white, 1 green, and 1 other for a 3/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And whenever it attacks, you may pay 8. And if you do, creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of historic permanents you control. So this seems like an easy build around as a commander.
Yes.
To just really get a ton of value and then go to town with that 8 cost ability there. Just your board is going wide whenever you cast a historic spell. I think that's pretty strong, and yeah, it's really easy to bolster those guys up.
Yep. Soldier creature type, might want to take a peek at this too if this is what you want to build. Getting artifacts or legendary enchantments like the flowering of the white tree that are going to trigger Alistair, that are going to pump your board at the same time. Look for cards like that. Look for legendaries that pump your board, that give anthems, because you're gonna get out of hand pretty nuts and pretty quick. I saw this card too, Jake. This one was one of your picks, but I think that it is gonna be a really fun one. I also think that this is gonna be a fun one. I can't believe you didn't pull this one, because this does seem right up your alley, because this is basically active treason the commander. The Beast, Deathless Prince, 1 red, 1 black, 2 other for a 6/6. When you cast this spell, gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it. It gains menace and haste. The Beast enters the battlefield tapped with 6 stun counters on it. And so that's if it would become untapped. You remove a stun counter from it instead. And then whenever a creature deals combat damage to its owner, untap the Beast and draw a card. So instead of untapping it, you remove a stun counter and you draw a card. So you're working toward it being a attackable creature, but this feels like a steal and sacrifice kind of deck. You constantly want to be stealing their stuff so that we can trigger that bottom ability, draw some cards.
Yeah, I think this is fun too. Drawing cards is always a good time, and then you get the payoff of a big 6/6 at the end of it. Legendary creature, so it can be your commander if you want to try and build around this thing. I think it's neat. I think it's a casual, fun spell. Pretty neat. Pretty neat card.
I like this one. Any Rob the Cradle, Rob the Crib Robber. What was that one from the very first Eldraine? The 1 mana steal a creature that's like 3 or less or something. And it was in the same format as the Witch Oven, so you could just steal their little creature and throw it in the oven. Any commander deck that can
claim the firstborn.
Claim the firstborn, yes, dude. Any commander that can arguably run claim the firstborn, I'm in. I do wish it had more of like a payoff once it did untap. You know, I mean, it can't be blocked or flying and trample or something.
Flying trample would be good. Cult of Skaro. We have Grixis and 1 other for legendary artifact creature. It's one of the Dalek cards. It's a 4/4. Whenever Cult of Skaro attacks, choose 1 at random. It has they put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. Can draw 2 cards. Sack, which is create a 3/3 black Dalek artifact creature token with menace. And what is that? Fast,
I think.
Each opponent loses 4 life. A lot of modes here from these salt shakers.
Yeah, these salt shakers are the scariest salt shakers I've ever seen. I think that the Daleks here are a pretty fun little Grixis commander. Attacking
Darlick.
Random.
They're pronounced Darlick.
There's no way it's pronounced Darlick. I'm never gonna say Darlick when I see that word. I'm just not going to. I'm sorry. Attacks. You're choosing at random. This is obviously a fun, casual commander. but armies of Daleks, that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of all the modes. None of the modes are a miss. You're growing or you're drawing or each opponent is losing. But obviously you wish that you could choose, but I do like having a little Grixis commander there that can get down and dirty if you want it to. For some reason in this set there were a lot of dinosaur cards. I guess it's an episode and there was just a lot to pull from.
There's a dinosaur episode, yeah.
Got it. So this one's called Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. In my opinion, it's actually really good. Boros +4 for a 7/7 Vigi Trample. It says other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1, have Vigi and Trample. Hey, y'all, we're about to go to a dinosaur plane. Guess what card might shoot up in the short term? Think about it. Suspend 4 for 5. Whenever a time counter is removed from dinosaurs on a spaceship while it's exiled, you create a 2/2 with flying and haste dinosaur. Okay. And then when it comes in, it turns them into 3/3 flying vigilant trample dinosaurs. I don't know. This just seems really fun, and we're about to go to Dinosaur World. So this
is the name of the episode. Someone is saying the Blocks guy says Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, literal name of the episode.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. This is right up my alley. As you can see, I'm super timmying out over the whole set, but putting 8 power on the battlefield as it's suspended and then it enters, and the only thing missing is that it itself doesn't have haste for the entire payoff to really give you something strong. But I think that Anthem relating to the creature type dinosaur, I think people are going to be interested in this card.
I like that Vigi. Vigi and Trample is nothing to shake a stick at. And you don't want to shake a stick at a dinosaur.
No, you do not.
Next up, we have Great Intelligence's Plan. 1 black, 1 blue, and 4 other. Draw 3 cards. Then target opponent faces a villainous choice. They discard 3 cards, or you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Oh, yeah, dude.
They discard 3, or you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. I feel like most of the time you're going to be casting something without paying its mana cost. No one really wants to discard 3 cards.
3 is a chunk, man. 3 is a chunk,
man.
It is not nothing. And so I feel like even if this was 2, I'd just be like, I'll just discard 2 cards. But going down 3, and you can pick which opponent. You just go for the opponent that has like 4 or 5 cards in hand, and you're like, hey, can I take you out of the game, or can I have a free spell from my hand? Because they don't know what it's going to be. You may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. You could have Omniscience in your hand, and you're just going for game win, because you're just going to cast your whole hand, draw your entire deck. Bang, bang,
that's
boom.
A good point. Like if you're running this in something where you have a Reliquary Tower type effect and you're just drawing all the cards, it's a lot more oppressive.
I think that this will be a really fun uncommon for people to...
It is a fun uncommon.
The villainous choice thing. I like that politics.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
It is an expensive card. It's a casual card.
For sure.
But it's fun.
Yeah. We can have fun in EDH too. And I'll tell you what's going to be fun. Or maybe not.
Another 6 cost.
Yeah, keeping track of this 6 cost. Well, this card would get... It's already bonkers, and if it was any cheaper than 6, I don't think that it would be legal very long. 4/3 Time Lord Rogue for Rakdos and 4. It's got Myriad, which means when it attacks, you're creating token copies of it for each opponent that it could attack, that it's not already attacking. I think that's how that's worded. The Legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control, so... You don't have to sack any of the copies of the Master when the Master comes into the battlefield. And then triggered abilities you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. So the Myriad tokens would typically go away after everything is done and your turn is over. But with the Master on the battlefield, you do not have to sack any of the tokens. It is all in, hardcore. You've got to protect your OG Master, because if OG, or really you've just got to keep at least 1 Master on the battlefield, because they're all copies, and so they all say that triggered abilities you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens. But oh my lordy, I feel like this one could get out of
wait a minute, help me out here. Do they all have Myriad? They do?
Yes.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, this is stupid. I wouldn't be able to play it because I'm not smart enough. But it does seem like a really strong card. It has some Matrix vibes. I like that green and red.
Yeah.
I'm not super smart, but I do know when I like colors that are next to each other. And that green and red looks really, really snappy on this one.
I like that he's got Joel's fashion sense, jeans, t-shirt, hoodie. Really straightforward how I like to dress here. But I'm telling you, this one,
Idris does love it. Yes.
you're in the right, exactly, dude. You're in the right colors to get into some graveyard shenanigans if you want to. It doesn't have to be out of the command zone to be a huge player in a game, because you can tutor it up, put it in the graveyard, resurrect it, whatever you, I mean, give it haste. The things are sacking, or they're not sacking because they don't have to sack. Yeah, it's just,
you don't see it, but he's wearing Crocs.
Yeah, there you go. He has my perfect fashion sense.
Okay, there is an alter in the future of this card that is simply extending the pants and adding the white Crocs, and then we're there, baby.
Yeah.
I think this is funny. Travis M says this is going to be that deck.
Yes, exactly.
With air quotes around that. And I think so. It does seem like if you build around this, it can just be so stupid.
Make
just
sure it's
so
haste.
Incredibly
You're in the right
stupid.
colors to make sure it's haste. Right.
Yeah.
Blitz, anything with blitz. Yeah. This card is nuts. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see somebody kill me with it or me win. Next up, we've got Arya Stark, I guess, in Doctor
This name
Who.
is a trap, so don't get it wrong.
Me, comma, the Immortal.
Is it me? Is it May? Is it Ma?
It's me, the
I don't know.
Immortal.
Okay.
It is a red, a blue, and a green, and 2 for a 3/3. Human Rogue, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put your choice. So this happens at the beginning of combat, so you can play this in your main phase 1 and get your triggers. Beginning of combat on your turn, put your choice of a +1/+1 first strike, vigilant, or menace counter on me. Counters remain on me as it moves to any zone other than hand or library. So when it dies and goes back to the command zone, it's going to keep counters on it. It's kind of like a Skullbriar in that sense. And then you may cast me from your graveyard by discarding 2 cards in addition to paying its other costs. So in a deck with the right color to keep your hand full as hell, you can just let this die and go to the graveyard and recast it for 5 over and over and over and over just by discarding 2 cards. I think that this one's got some play. Get that first strike, get that vigilance, get that menace on it, and then you just start dumping +1/+1 counters and rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Jeez, it's another one of these cards where it's just, I'm just not smart enough to play it. You have to move stuff around. There's counters. You have to use math.
Yep.
It's just easily top tier hardest cards for me to understand, but it does look very cool.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I think that this will be a cool commander to build around.
Ozolith add hexproof.
Oh yeah, exactly. Jake, you want to hit us off with this Cybermen card here?
Yeah, 7 cost, 5/5. We have an artifact creature, Cyberman. Non-legendary artifact creatures you control have myriad. There we go, baby. If we are playing big artifacts, let's think of stuff like Mirror Battlesphere. Any of that kind of stuff, we're going to be getting in with some big effects. Cool card. I think it's pretty sweet.
You remember the card Cyberdrive Awakener from Neon Dynasty that turned all your non-artifact creatures into artifact creatures out of nowhere, and you could just win the game that way? This one feels like the same kind of thing to me. I think this could win you the game. That myriad rule, whenever a creature with myriad attacks for each opponent other than the one you're attacking, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking. So you just get your board to a state where it's definitely going to win when you attack. Maybe you play delete right before you're ready to go. Maybe you play Cyberman Squadron as the surprise.
Yuck.
And suddenly,
dude, I like the idea of swinging with worm coils and then having a sack outlet for them in the second main. That way we can just turn them into baby worms.
Yo,
get around the myriad.
Just get like 30 or 40 Thopters in the air and then drop this, and then you have 30 or 40 Thopters going at every player on the table.
This card's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I like mid-power commanders, so when cards are 5 to 7 cost, it doesn't bother me that much. You just have to make sure that you're not pumping your deck full of stuff like that. But having stuff like this at your top end because you want to play it, or it seems fun, or it seems good, that's what Commander's about. Commander, the whole point of it in the beginning was to play those big splashy spells that otherwise never really get to get played.
Beer,
and so this
beer
is a fun
and
card.
peanuts and play cards that don't get played. That was the point of Commander.
It was beer, it was peanuts, and to play cards that don't get played. And it was never in any specific order, but it was always about beer and peanuts and cards that don't get played first.
To our earlier point, at least this one could be a game winner when you pay the 7 and it hits the battlefield. That could be the game. Just by in and of itself there. Chat, we're going to say bye, but that doesn't mean that we're actually leaving the live. We're just saying goodbye to the YouTube video. So everybody type bye YouTube. We had fun. You could have been here live with us. Be here live with us next time. Just say things like that so that when people watch it on YouTube, they're like, oh man, I could have been there live. I need to be there live next time.
You could have been there live. Now we're going to talk about the Magic Summit. But actually, I just need 1 second though.
Oh, hang on. Let me do this outro real fast. I didn't even say bye.
Oh, you did say bye. You said bye a lot. Everybody's saying bye right now, aren't they? Oh, okay.
Those are our picks for Commander cards from Doctor Who, another MTG set, trademark Wizards of the Coast 2023. Let us know in the comments if there were any that you love that we didn't include on our list.
Goodbye.
All right, now we're done. You're free.
All right, I'll be right back. Give me just a second.
Boy loves getting up from his chair. Loves getting up from his chair. Oh, chat, let me swap back over real fast and get rid of that. Goodbye. Oh, hello, cards to talk about later. Travis, I don't think I will. I'm actually writing a video right now. Hope to have it out next week. Yeah.
Behind the.
Yeah, I think I'll at least get it out before the MTG Summit, Travis, but I'm writing a video right now about how Doctor Who's the first set since Aether Revolt that I'm just fully skipping. Not getting anything. I might pick up cards from it as I build decks in the future, you know, and I like order singles. Just deck build, and I'm randomly like, oh, this Doctor Who card is good for this deck. I might go that route, but I'm not gonna just do like these are the singles from Doctor Who that I want. Order probably. I don't know.
Oh, you do have 2 TARDIS cards that you have.
Yeah, we got some TARDISes.
You have 2 TARDI.
Yep.
You have
got a couple of TARDI. You got to be careful. We can't. Can
you not say that? Is that not the plural?
I don't know. It might be.
Of TARDIS? TARDI?
It might be. So chat, as we said, Kingdoms, sound off if you're still here, my friend. Carlos, if you're still around. Let's swap over.
Yeah.
So chat, we talked about this stream being sponsored by the Magic Summit, and it is. Big shout outs, big thanks to Magic Summit for sponsoring tonight's stream. This is an event in Salt Lake City from October 26th through 29, and Jake and I are going to be there on site.
Yeah, you've got a whole area where you can look at special guests and you can see who's going to be in that's going to be coming to the event, but it's going to be a really good time. Now, we've talked about this event a couple times and some of the amazing guests that are going to be there, but I wanted to talk a little bit about our sponsor and talk about a couple of the events that you will probably be interested in. And there are, well, these are what I would be interested in if I wanted to get the most out of the event. And we could talk about those events, but there are tons and tons of artists. There's going to be, like we said, some special guests there. It's going to be a really good time. And as we mentioned earlier in the stream, this is an event that is mostly about playing. There's going to be tons of playing going on. And if you enjoy Magic the Gathering, kind of like the feeling of the old Grand Prix, this is going to be the thing for you.
Yeah, the big main event I've talked about in a short, or Jake and I both have talked about in a short. It's $125 to enter this event. Top prize is you get a choice of a Mox. You just get to pick a Mox straight up. And then 2 through 4 also get their pick of the remaining Mox. It becomes like a draft. Past that, you got 80,000 prize tickets in the payout on this.
You can get some stuff with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely you can. That's just one. That is the main event. You've got this RCQ, you've got another RCQ.
25K value in prize support.
Yeah, absolutely nuts.
And that's for just that one event. The other event that I really like is the limited RCQ Saturday, which you can find in the events.
The dual land event or the Sunday event?
Here, if you just go, if you click, yeah, that thing right there. This is the other event that I really like. Is first place will receive the RCQ Championship invite. First place also receives 2 duels of their choice from a set of revised dual lands. That's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, I mean, first gets 2 duels, second gets 2 duels, 3 through 8 also get a duel.
Their choice after that.
Yeah, dude.
Top 8 will receive a foil custom playmat. Top 8 will receive top 8 pin and patch. There's a lot going on here,
and it's
limited.
Lot going on. It's a limited event.
That's right.
It's the same as the main event. The main event is limited, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah, limited event, and then day 2 is a new sealed pool, and then top 8 is a draft.
Oh, here we go. Carlos is actually saying he is available on Discord.
We can call Carlos in on voice chat here. Give me just a second.
The other thing that I really love that we already talked about were there is on-demand 2-headed giant. There's also some other really cool stuff. There are battles where players queue for formats that they desire.
I just messed up Jake's call. Sorry, chat. Jake, apologies.
Did you cut me off? You did, didn't you?
Sorry, it went. I thought I was adding him, but it created a brand new one.
Yeah, someone exiled me. No, it's fine. The other thing I just want to say really quick
on this call.
Demand 2-headed giant.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'm gonna pull that up. Can you turn your video back on, Jake? It's not riding in this DM for some reason.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Hello.
Carlos,
there
hey.
we go.
How's it going?
Carlos, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Rock and roll. Real quick, everybody, the other voice you are hearing on the stream is Carlos from Kingdoms TV. Make sure you give a subscribe to their YouTube channel over there. Carlos is, what do we say? You're in charge of this event? This is your event? How would you say it?
Yeah, it's my event. So I'm one of the owners. I also have a partner. His name's Andrew Willis. And it's long story short, the first year that we did this, it was technically a Kingdoms event. This year, moving forward, it's its own entity, and Kingdoms is associated with it, just keeping it separate.
Sure.
But they're both I own both of them. So yeah.
We'll rock and roll.
That is amazing. It's really cool that you're putting this together. Yeah, it's going to be a really fun time. We're very excited about it. When I was digging in more today, seeing the stuff, and now that you've given us the the go ahead on playing some 2-headed, Joel can't get out of it. We're doing it.
You think I want to get out of that?
No, I know. I just like at Vegas, we just had no time. We had no time. We actually ran into some of the guys from Kingdoms, which was really cool while we were there in Vegas. But yeah, just no real time to do any sort of like events like that. And so this is going to be kind of like our event that we're going to make up for the gameplay that we missed out on, because it's going to be fun.
Well, luckily Carlos has got a bunch of events of gameplay baked into it for the VIP badge holders. These VIP packages, y'all, are off the chain. Carlos, you want to walk them through the Summit Guild VIP top pack real quick?
Yeah. So as you said, the VIP is made for those that want the premier con experience. And so we've really packed it full of any kind of special event that you can think of. For example, we're still getting in touch with some of our special guests about the specifics, but we have like a two-headed giant draft where there's 8 people still in the draft, but there's basically 4 groups of two-headed giant, and one of those groups is now going to be Jake and Joel, and then the other 3 sets of 2 will be VIPs. Everyone drafts, plays against each other, has a great time. That is only, though, available to VIPs as a free raffle event. So all of our special events like this are free raffle events, but they're only for VIPs.
I got you.
Yeah, that's such a good incentive for people that do decide to go for the VIP experience, that you're able to provide good exclusive stuff like that. That sounds like a really good time.
Oh yeah, and Carlos, you said that if anybody uses our code to get one of the VIP badges so that they can engage in all the creator experiences, that we can make sure that they end up playing with us if that's who they want to play with.
Yeah, for their creator clash. So every VIP member that gets the commander or the ultimate VIP package, we have 3 this time. There's another one called the competitor package, but the commander or ultimate have a creator clash event where you get to play, you get a free pre-con, and then you get to play regular commander like with your regular decks, or pre-con battles with a special guest like Jake and Joel. And if anybody uses your code tonight, I can guarantee that they can play with you, unless like 50 people all of a sudden signed up, then we would have to
be a little bit of an
move
issue
them on. But
we'll have our own separate con. If 50 people sign up for the $500 badge, we're just gonna have the jam con.
If that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But
hey, I've got some questions in chat here for you. What sets are going to be drafted? Is that going to be Eldraine?
So everything's mainly Eldraine, like, you know, our all the sealed events, and, you know, any kind of like draft in like the like if you make all the way to the end of the main event, the draft is like a sealed is a Wilds Eldraine. However, we will have all standard sets available for on-demand drafts, as well as a number of while supplies last specials sets as well. So
nice.
We'll have some, you know, some strongholds, you know, we have Stronghold box, we have you know, we have like Mirrodin, original Ravnica. We have like a bunch of cool old ones, but as you can tell, they're only like while supplies last.
Sure.
So
yeah, absolutely. Can you explain the guild thing that's going to be happening? You can get a hoodie for your faction. Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so every VIP member gets a hoodie this time, and you get to choose your faction color based on the 5 magic colors, and your hoodie color will respond to that. So if you choose Mox Jet, then you get a black hoodie. If you choose, you know, Mox Pearl, you get a white hoodie. If you choose Mox Sapphire, a Ruby, Emerald, you get, you know, a blue, a red, or a green hoodie.
Nice.
And then they all have the unique VIP logo embroidered on them this year. It's a minimalist, sort of tasteful hoodie. It's not this, you know, big huge emblem, but it's sort of like having a polo emblem embroidered on it.
Yeah,
but,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Jake and I are gonna have a hard time because I think both of us are gonna pick black, and so we're definitely gonna be rolling the same faction, walking around.
There you go.
At least we're gonna be on the same team, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's either going to be black or red.
I mean, it would be for me too, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be black or red. That's fine. We'll rock the either Fury or Ambition, or wait, what's the, if black is Ambition, what's the word that gets associated with red? What
Passion.
would it be? Passion?
Fury,
okay.
Passion, something.
Fury, Passion, something like that.
Is
okay,
is the white hoodie actually white, or is it like yellow? Because a lot of time Plains ends up being yellow.
It is white, except the logo actually has it as yellow, but the hoodie is white, a white hoodie.
White with the yellow logo.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Carlos, we appreciate it, yo. I really think that this event is going to be off the chain. Jake and I are super excited about it.
I'm just excited to play some Magic and really just be there like playing, dude. Like,
yeah, we loved
really
Vegas. Seeing everybody was dope. Shooting the video was dope. If you haven't gone and watched our trivia video, please go watch it. It was a lot of fun.
We are going to make a video while we're there.
Yeah.
We totally are.
Yeah, we're going to shoot
video
some stuff, shoot some video
but
at the summit. But yeah, we only got to play 2 Commander games, and really, if you want to break it down, we only got to play 1.75 Commander games at MTG Vegas this year.
Okay, so that game with Jank and Quantum, let's be honest, we were like 0.3 of into that game. We were. Well,
we had to quit. It was the deal. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend here to play some MTG. Carlos, Jake, and I'll be in town on Wednesday, and then we'll see you either that night or Thursday for all of the events. Okay.
Awesome. And I will say one thing for your viewers, anyone that is maybe thinking about getting a VIP pass, we're about a halfway mark of those, of selling those out. And so, which is fine. Like, we don't need to sell out the VIP passes, but if I look at it as like an actual attendee, like, if I was going to a convention, I do think that it's better in some ways for the VIPs, the less amount of people come, because we have about 30 special events that are raffle that you win via like raffle, and those include like the 2-headed giant drafts. They include a box break with Brandon Sanderson or Cassius Marsh. It includes like playing Arch Enemy with Kyle Hill. It includes like pro drafts with Reed Duke and John Finkel.
Dude, so that would be sick.
But they're all free for VIPs, and you get a chance to win them just by being a VIP. But your odds are pretty high right now, because there's a couple, there's a few hundred people with a VIP pass, and there's 35 of these events. So like, just by being a VIP, I think your chances are like, I don't know, 5 to 15% right now to get a chance to win one of these free events.
Wow.
Not including everything else that comes with it.
Sure.
And so, it's definitely your best chances. And that doesn't include like the Thursday event that you get a free battle. You get, the whole day, you get the whole venue just to yourself on Thursday. And again, you get to interact with the artists and special guests on a much more intimate level.
That's such good.
There's a lot of cool things going on. So.
Oh man, it's all value. I'm telling you, y'all's VIP packages are just value.
It's a lot of value. And I will say this, thank you so much for adding that, Carlos, because that really gives us some of the insight that we didn't really have, like a little bit of behind the curtain, if you will, because that is really neat to know. Like, your odds are pretty good of getting hooked up in one of those events if you do spring for the VIP. So thank you for letting us know about that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's my pleasure.
Look at this awesome Ultimate VIP pack, Jake. You get entry into the main event. You get entry into the limited RCQ dual lands event as well. Plus 2 battle pass vouchers, on-demand vouchers, all the other perks of the commander section as well. Absolutely insane. Just so much stuff. Carlos, any last note or last thought before we wrap this up?
No, yeah. I mean, we are super excited to have everybody out, even if you can't do VIP. We really we feel like stacked the event with 20 different Magic artists coming.
Yeah,
we're doing a little carnival this year. We have tons of we have other cool things happening, like artists and panels and tons of awesome vendors there to buy and sell you cards. And there's a lot going on. It is more of the regular, more of like a Grand Prix, so it's more gameplay focused. And but yeah, tons happening. It is going to be live on Twitch and streaming too if you can't make it. But and then we do have more things to come in the future. But yeah, this year, if you can make it, I think it'll be worth your time. And I know it's sort of short notice, but yeah, we'd love to have anybody out that is on the fence there. So
100%. Yeah, we were too busy talking about the highest levels, most awesome VIP crazy packages for everybody not jingling in jewelry and sitting on a cushion. The 3-day summit pass is only $30. You can get in and just experience the whole thing just for the entry fee of $30. That's crazy. Tons of stuff to do there.
One thing I want to talk about, if you'll go back from this page,
yeah.
And I got cut off on this when we were getting the call going, but I was talking about the battles. Well, there's the two-headed giant, which we've already talked about, but I really like the battles. If you want to play modern, if you want to play pioneer, even legacy, there are these battles that you could do that are on demand. Once the queue fills up of 16 people, they fire it off. And so if you're like, man, I really want to jam some pioneer, it looks like there's a bunch of limited going on at this event, you can jam some pioneer here. If you want to jam some modern, you're like, man, there's just so much limited, you can play modern. There's even legacy. If you have a legacy deck and you're like, man, I really want to jam some legacy, you're going to be able to get that going here too. So these look really cool. They've got a lot of prize tickets going on with them. You can even do say you scrub out of the main event, you want to play more limited, you can do that at these battles as well. So keep these battles in mind. This looks like a fun way that I would probably engage with it. I really like on-demand type stuff. If I didn't have a two-headed giant partner like Joel to play with, I would probably be hanging out over here doing the battle event voucher.
Just the value of like being, if you're a modern or pioneer grinder, to be able to go in, buy this voucher, just queue up for these things. They're single elimination, so you're not sitting around.
That's for the competitive ones. There's competitive and casual. So yeah, if you're like, man, I want to go in there, do the sweaty one. Yeah, you could go and play competitive.
Dude,
single elim.
The value of just running those back over and over again, tournament conditions, is going to be such good practice for anybody who wants to, just like has Pro Tour aspirations of,
and
being
I will
professional.
Interject with those too. One of the cool things we think about them is, you can play them all weekend and just play as many of whatever format you enjoy, but any of them up before the main event begins, if you win one of them, they actually get you 2 buys for the main event as well.
For the Mox event? That's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
So it gives you that extra incentive to play in those, to try and get those extra buys, start off strong. Yeah. And then, so again, back in Grand Prix, that's sort of how things were. You just, people queued up and the flights went off, and so we're trying to bring that piece of it back.
I love that. I love that. Yep. Big fan of that. I want to shout out really quick to Walter with the $5 super chat. Says, can't go to Summit this year. Life's a little crazy. Totally bummed, but here are some subs and a super chat. We appreciate you. And Retro MTG with the $10 says, yo, Magic Summit sounds dope AF. It really does.
Oh, hey.
It is a little bit of a last we're at the last couple weeks before this comes up, but if it wasn't on your radar, it is now.
We appreciate all those donos. Retro, you are the stream monarch. We'll get that set up in a second. I wanted to show this off real fast before we move on from this segment. This was the last time that Jake and I got to do a full box two-headed giant. This was at GP Vegas.
Geez, my phone case really dates this for me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, look at your phone just in general, just across the board.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's a dated one, but yeah, this is something that we love to do, and the vibe is right, and the vibes are going to be immaculate, and we really can't wait for this. Carlos, we do appreciate you calling in. You providing some more context for this is fantastic. We are super looking forward to this event, dude.
Yeah. If anyone has other questions, they can join our Summit Discord. They can hit me up on any of the Magic Summit socials, and we're excited to have you too, especially, as well as any of your fans out there to join us.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that Baxter Sackerson is going to be there. Carlos doesn't get that joke at all.
No, that's Joel's joke. That's the Brandon Sanderson joke. Joel has slowly changed his name over time.
Yeah, Mr. Brandon will be there.
He's gonna have a crazy cube going.
Box breaks with him. He'll also be there in the VIP lounge to sign books and meet people and say hello. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Do appreciate it, Carlos. Everybody, big claps in chat for Carlos coming on. Big energy. We appreciate you. We will talk to you very soon. Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, Travis is going to be there. That's nice. Travis,
nice.
It's going to be nice to hang out with you again.
Oh yeah,
hopefully we get to jam some games.
Yeah, definitely. Rock and roll. Swap back over.
Yeah, I was digging through those events, and dude, there are just so many little like on-demand things. Even if you can't get like the VIP thing, you can really have a good time there. And this seems like the kind of thing that old Jake would have liked, and so new Jake is happy to reunite
old Jake
with old
right
Jake.
Now. You are old Jake.
I am old Jake. I know I am. I am old Jake. I'm getting old.
You've been old
Thanks
Jake
for bringing it up.
for 50 years.
Thanks for bringing it up, man. Jeez.
You've been old Jake for nigh on 50 years.
I know. You're right.
Chat, we appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. We got one more segment to do tonight, and that is going to be surprising $10 cards. Oh, we'll explain.
Cards that are $10. What if we told you this? That Wildcat MTG is hanging out in chat. What's up?
Wildcat, what up? You're on
Lance
the next
is
episode.
Also here. Says surprise.
If you shot part of the game show with us in Vegas and you did not see yourself in episode 1, you will be in episode 2 coming out next week.
That's right.
Enjoy yourself.
I just have to balance all of my sound. It's gonna be, dude, that is awful for me. I'm like looking through it and I'm like,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
There was just nothing we could do at that point. It was they were brand new mics. I had no idea. We ordered brand new field mics just to take to this thing.
Bro.
Here we go. We ordered this kit to take to Vegas.
Here's the indicator. This is what I should have known. Is if it attaches to your shirt here, that means that it doesn't need to be like right up on your mouth. So like for me putting it like seriously an inch away, then that was an issue.
So Jake and we have a theater background. That's a lot of our performance training and
projection
stuff lands on theater training, right? And theater training is hardcore projection. Speak to the back, whisper to the back of the audience, to the back of the theater. And so you're on the conference floor. It's a brand new mic. We weren't paying attention to levels well because it's just not something we're used to. And so it ended up being blown out. But it was we just pulled it down. We just pulled the audio down.
Jake, that mic was way too close to your mouth.
Yes,
you are not wrong. It really was. And
he just wanted everybody watching to be like, God, I wish I was that fucking mic. I wish I was that mic right now.
I'm gonna have to literally go through and put like -5 decibels across every single moment where I speak. It's gonna add a little bit of time.
I just pulled
-5.
Well, you can select all in Premiere Pro, select every piece of footage and right click audio gain -5.
Yeah, but did you do that over everybody or just me?
Well, it was just your segments because it was just one mic per segment. And so an entire segment with
I'm just going to do it over my stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just do it over my stuff.
Yeah, I didn't really have to do it. That way I don't have to
like, I won't have to do it like over Beezy and whatever. And maybe those I'll have to get in there and dig in a little bit, but it'll be fine.
It ended up being fine.
No, it's fine. It's a great video. It's a good time.
Wildcat.
Oh, we are still on a call with Carlos. Do we want to drop this call and go back?
Carlos, are you still there? Carlos isn't there. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
It'll keep us from having to swap up our entire shit.
Carlos to say thanks, everyone. Super excited to have you all come to the summit. It's going to be a blast. Yeah, we're super excited about it. I want to jam some two-headed giant, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a big time fun. All right, everybody, hit that like button. Let's jump over and run this second segment of the night,
which is, well, I'll intro this one. This is as letting people know what we're about to get into. these are cards that are surprisingly around the $10 level. Did you know that the new food chain card that just came out in that secret layer is like the most affordable food chain I've ever seen? It's only $10.
Yeah,
it's at $10 right now.
There's a lot of cards like that in there.
A lot of stuff like that in this video.
I've got stocks open too, Jake, if you want to go there, but we'll be working off of Scryfall. Let me swap over.
That's fine.
Everybody say hey to YouTube. We're about to start a video here. Everybody say hey YouTube, we love you. And give us your thoughts. Give us cards that you think are relevant to being $10 that we don't mention. We want to hear your thoughts as well and get you in this video if you're commenting over there. Everybody say hey to YouTube. Jake, there's something interesting about the $10 mark for a card. That normally means that the card is either crazy scarce or it's actually pretty good. It's a very playable, most often commander card. But I mean,
these days, yeah, if a card's $10, that means that it's got something going on for it.
Right. So the thing though with the $10 mark that you have to know is this card on its way up, and what are the markers for it being on the rise, or is this card down from a very high and now it's a good pickup? So you got cards that are rising and you're like, nah, this won't be a $10 card, this one will go back down after one reprint, and it hasn't been reprinted in 3 to 5 years, so it's like really, you know, on the edge, it's going to be reprinted any moment now, versus cards that used to be 40 or debuted at 50 and are now down to $10. We got the whole gamut here that we're looking at, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, March Flats and Godless Shrine right at the top.
Yo, Shocklands cool, right? Just being on this list is insane. So let me explain.
Shocklands being on this list. Oh yeah.
Chat, I'm going to drop the, if you're here with us live, I'm going to drop the exact search that we are doing in Scryfall so that you can copy and paste it. If you're not here with us live, you definitely should be. We're streaming every Wednesday night about 9:30 Eastern. Come hang out. What we're doing here is we are looking at cards that are more than $9, less than $11. They've been released this year. We're not looking at any future sets, like future prices or anything. The set is not, we're not including 30th anniversary. We're not including Doctor Who, because that set is not officially street date out yet. We're still in preview prices for those, so they're irrelevant widely. And same thing with Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Any of the cards that have been announced there, we don't want those affecting this list. Then
so we need a patron barrier just for your syntax knowledge. We literally need a patron tier
hour a week on the Discord, and I'll just take people's syntax questions live.
Like seriously, like Joel's like, let's do a $10 segment, and I'm over here and I'm like, okay, I'll go through each set and be like, what's around the $10 level? And he's like, here's a Scryfall search, it does all the work for you. Go.
So these are not 30th anniversary, not Doctor Who, not Lost Caverns. We don't want those affecting this list. Then we have sorted these by EDH rec rank. So these are in order because basically all of them are between $9 and $11, all around $10 card. These are in order of how often they show up in deck lists on the internet. And then the only other qualification here is that these are the cheapest versions of these cards. You'll have cards that are like $1, but they'll have some random version showcase something rare promo that's $10, and we didn't want those in here. These are the cheapest version. If you're looking at this card on this screen in this search, this is the cheapest version of that card, and it fits every other parameter that I've laid out. Okay, is that context clear?
That's a lot of context,
but somewhat
it's here's the TLDR of all of that. These cards are around $10.
These cards are around $10. We're going to tell you which ones are some of our favorites, and we're going to tell you which ones are on the rise or on the fall, so that you know where to buy them. Jake, I guess we can start with the obvious and just start with Shocklands. These are coming out soon. They are currently racing to the bottom across the board. What do you think about Shocklands? When are you picking up? What versions are you picking up?
We just had some weird like Ravnica remastered tomfoolery that happened where, you know, I'm sure that some people have seen people talk about this, but I will briefly explain. Amazon put Ravnica remastered on for sale, and they essentially price matched it to Dominaria remastered, which has pretty much cratered out to like $110 a box. And so it's almost like Amazon doesn't know what the remastered set is. It's just like, oh yeah, Ravnica is just a flavor of the remastered sets. Time Spiral is just a flavor. Dominaria is just a flavor. And so these Shocklands, the price is going to be kind of all over the place. I don't know how it's going to shake out. There are a lot of people that are bearish on Ravnica Remastered. There are people that are looking forward to it. There are people that are just like, I want these lands with these really cool borders. I want the retro frame, and it's a lot to keep up with.
Yes.
But Amazon did mistakenly put a ton of product up at like half the price that it should have been.
Well, and that's just pre-order sales, y'all. The first part of what Jake was talking about right there, Dominaria Remastered has cratered. Keep that in mind. That's not going to suddenly not happen with Ravnica Remastered. I can't promise you, nothing on this channel is financial advice, but if it follows the same suit and it isn't magically underprinted, it's also going to be discussed next October 11th at 11:03 Eastern about on the Jake and Joel Magic Show about how it's cratered out, and don't rush into what's the next remastered. I think Innistrad, something like that.
I think What's Cracking did it right. Says sold a ton of shocks yesterday. Gonna buy back low in December. What's Cracking Collectibles? Thanks for hanging out, man. Good to see you.
The important part of that entire bit of context where Ravnica is concerned is look at cards like Godless Shrine. This card is on its way down. Look at cards like Guardian Project. This was only printed in Ravnica Allegiance and a Secret Lair commander deck that you had to pay $100 to get, and they didn't even change the art. They didn't even change anything. All they did was drop the Planeswalker stamp on there like it's a list card. Cheapest version right now is the one with the Planeswalker stamp on it. This is a just eminent reprint, y'all. So a lot of these cards, not going to be pickups. Some of these cards are pickups. You just got to know the context of what you're looking at. Farewell
around the $10 mark. That's pretty cool.
A rare from a set that just came out. In my brain, I'm still going to say just came out. I know it's been a while now, but this is premium board wipe that they probably don't want to print too many times, right? We're getting versions in Doctor Who.
I mean, this is one of those cards that to me it's going to get the smothering tithe. Not treatment, but it's going to get the smothering tithe effect where they just print it a lot, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still a card that's very good. Yeah. Still a card that's very good. This is one of those cards that I didn't think would drop below like that $15 mark, and so now it's around 10, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Retros, y'all, look at some of these showcase frames. We've noticed over the last year or two that sometimes these showcase frames are not the ones that people want. This is the cheapest. You'd think the retro artifact version of the Aetherflux Reservoir Mythic would be the premium, but no. Obviously that you're looking at the premium, the Kaladesh stamped one there, but with all of the different variants coming out, when you say I want a card, double check what all the variants are at. A lot of time those extendos inexplicably cheaper.
It's not everybody wants that. It's that slot, right? Because when that slot has so few cards that can be in it, you have stuff like the Multiverse Legend slot or like the Retro Artifact slot, where it's just like there's a lot more of those cards in circulation. It feels like there are anyway. Elish Norn, that's a big one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're passing huge playable cards here, but I just have to come down here, Jake. $10. We are down to $10 on OG Elish Norn. That's insane.
Yeah, this is the Iconic Masters version, or actually this is the list version that we're looking at right here.
Correct.
But yeah, this is just one of those big old cards. And yeah, Mystery Booster. And so this is just one of those that at the end of the day, you print it enough, you're going to get a big adjustment in price.
Secret Lair, Modern Masters. I mean, yeah, this card, I've never seen it hit a commander board and it not be like the most impactful card on the board.
Like, somebody better get on that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely ridiculous. This is one, you'll see it covered in a video we've got coming out in the next week or so, but this is one that we think is imminent for reprint. This is from Gate Crash. So not really aiming at stuff like that right now.
I love all the hindsight when you look at stuff like Tainted Pact and Worm Coil Engine. In Tainted Pact was one of these cards where it was, that's a game ender, that's a CEDH card. So when you look at stuff like Tainted Pact, this was a card that was high as like $40.
Right.
And this card has gone through a huge adjustment just because it was reprinted and not a lot of people need it. So a lot of people don't like playing super sweaty Commander. It's its own subset of Commander. You could be like, you know what, guys, we just got done playing that 3-hour game. Who wants to play a game of CEDH to end the night? And then it's like, yeah, you're going to play a 30-minute game of just like whoever's going to combo out first. That's where Tainted Pact kind of lives. So like cards like that, big adjustments whenever they get reprinted. And then there was also another one that was right under it or next to it, Worm Coil Engine. Worm Coil, man.
$30-$40 card in my brain. My head thinks that's a $30 or $40 card.
Of course, like when this first came out, which was, what was it? Scars of Mirrodin was the first time we saw this. I'm pretty sure it was Scars of Mirrodin.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you pulled this card, this was just like one of the cards in the set to pull. And it was a game ender. This was that, like, you could play this in Control. This was just like one of the big standard cards. It absolutely has.
It doesn't have Ward 3, so it's not playable.
Exactly. The fact that it splits into 2 3/3s just isn't enough.
Not enough anymore. I like that one has Death Touch, but the lifelink one is basically useless.
Yeah. Now, other cards, when I look at something like Chandra's Ignition, I'd look at a card that when it first came out, everybody turned their nose up at it, and they were like, this is a card that isn't that great. But then Commander found it and was like, come with me, baby child.
Right.
You'll do great in our format.
So people that have watched a bunch of our videos that are live here with us right now, drop your answers in chat. Looking at what you can see here, do you think that this card is imminent for a reprint? We've got a printing in Magic Origins, which is from 2015. It has a stamped pre-release, and it showed up in the $100. No, the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose was $150, right? To buy that entire pre-con deck. And so
I think so, yeah.
When we look at a rare from a set that was in 2015 that is now $9.63, Jake and I aren't exactly sprinting out to buy this one. Okay?
This one is a hold one, sell the rest.
Oh my God, yes.
For me.
Absolutely.
100%.
This is do not buy. This would be on the do not buy list on this list of $10 cards.
I bought 4 foils of that like years ago when the set first came out, when the foils were like 3 apiece. And I should probably just get rid of those foils, save one, and get rid of the rest, because it's just
sell.
It is.
I gotta talk about this card, because this card, people went bonkers at the top right when this one released. Displacer Kitten was very, very expensive. Looking at the MTG stocks chart, shout out to MTG stocks. All-time high $20 for this rare. Now we're down into the $5 range. Looking around December, looking around July of this year. But now we're creeping back up into the $10 range. So this one's right on the fence, Jake, as far as like buy, do not buy, because it was very high, corrected down very low, and now it's sort of working its way back up. I don't know how reprintable this is. What is the reprintable thermometer on this for you?
List. Possibly just put it on the list, and then
Secret Lair?
Way to get more. No, like
$10 card?
Yeah, maybe Secret Lair.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to a cat anything. If you have a cat Secret Lair, somebody wants to do a Secret Lair all cats, this seems like an obvious inclusion.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. It would drive the value of it. The price of it would be $29.99, and they would come in right at $28 of value, with the Displacer Kitten being $10 of it. Yeah, that's one for me that in my head, when I look at that card, it's not a $10 card to me. And that is why this list was a video that we wanted to make, because price memory is real, y'all. It sticks in your head. Worm Coil Engine is always going to be a $30 card to me. And now it's a $10 card for a special looking version of it. And so you got to look at these cards occasionally and just kind of look back through. especially
Medallion
staple-ish stuff. Yeah.
Sapphire Medallion at 10, Birthing Pod at 10. You know,
look at this one.
Geez.
Giver of Runes. So the issue with Giver of Runes, it's an excellent card, right? Another target creature you control gains either colorless protection or color your choice protection. Hell yes. This card is very interesting when you look at the chart, and you'll be able to tell what's going on. It is a 1-mana creature that gives protection. What do you think that seems good in? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Every modern deck that exists with white and creatures.
Right,
Seems like they're going to want 4. And so with this one, Modern Horizons card, this came out in 2019, was Modern Horizons 1, I believe. And so you've got a card here that has been cheaper. Looking at the all-time low for Giver, $4.45. All-time high, though, $15. So we're not quite back up to its high water mark of 15 in March of this year. It's as recent as that this has been pretty premium. But now you've got this at a $10 card. Jake, do you like this as a pickup, or do you think this is a hold? 2019 for the reprint.
This is one of those cards where, like, if you don't have it and you need it and you want one, sure. But for me, it'd be hard to go out and buy a whole play set of them. You know, unless I really needed them for the deck. You know, if I want to spend $40 on these, it's because I've tried them out and I absolutely have to have them for a constructed deck. Otherwise, this is a good card to just have a single copy of.
Yeah, for context, Wildcat MTG killed it. Hammer Time used to be a much more played deck in Modern, but that is creeping down, and so cards like, you know, the tangential pieces of those kind of strategies are going to fall as well.
Jank with a good note. 1/2 seems helpful against Bowmasters. Yep.
Cards like Balefire. Look at this. This card just got reprinted 3 different versions. You want a big, silly dragon? Balefire has got you covered. And now it's only a $10 card. When you look at the lifetime chart for this, you've got highs in the 40s in 21. This card was...
That's just scarcity.
Exactly.
When something costs 7, it's like... Oh, it's so specific at 7 mana.
Innistrad, Ultimate Masters, nothing. And then Commander Masters. 3 different versions. Driving the price down. And look, y'all, when we're looking at these cards, a lot of times you're seeing variance within dollars. For the vast majority of cards. The tip top of the charts on any individual set, not going to be the same spread here. But you can get this one, or one of the craziest looking Magic cards I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This card would be a 10 out of 10 art-wise for me, except for they needed to put the rarity symbol on here, and so it ended up just kind of floating strangely over there.
Tattoo. It's a tattoo.
Balefire Dragon got a tattoo of the set. He was like, I can't wait to get reprinted. I'm going to tattoo to commemorate it when I got the call.
That's right.
But yeah, big stupid dragon ready to be your commander. This card, I swear, I just
see a lot of cards that are priced down from where I remember them.
That's what I'm saying. That was my whole point of this. $25. Again, I'm remembering these as $20 cards. Suddenly the variants are $9. The base copy's $10. Make sure you are paying attention.
Vesuva, that's a big one.
Holy crap, yes.
Yeah, Vesuva's a card that I remember being an expensive card until it finally got a reprint in TSR, I believe. Yeah, look at that. Holy cannoli.
$38 in 21. High is 44
all
time.
You don't want to be holding that. Like, once you start to see kind of the ebb and flow of reprints, you can avoid this kind of stuff. This is why there are market manipulators in MTG, because it's a market that's easily manipulated. It's easy to read. If you have a card that's very good, that's expensive, that hasn't been reprinted in a long time, you should probably get rid of that card. Just a thought.
I also think that's why you should be subscribed to us. Like 30% of the people watching this video right now, we do appreciate those 30% that have subscribed. But the 70% that's not, you got to sub. We try and stay on top of this stuff for y'all, so you know when cards are like at their most imminent reprint. Like I said, we got a video coming out in the next week, specifically talking Ravnica remastered and the cards that we think we're going to see in that set as far as reprints go. So you're going to want to take a look at those. $25. Crazy Xenagos Beater. We can't look at the all-time low on this. It was 2014. Commander wasn't as popular. But one of the top Commander legendary enchantment creatures dropping in here, $10 now to be able to, I mean, win. Haste and +X at the beginning of combat on your turn, doubling a creature's power and toughness. Looking at cards from recent too, all will be one. This one's gotten down because
now stuff like this, I am a lot more like, if you need that card and it's $10, I would say buy it. Like if something came out this year or in like the last 6 months, then yeah, it's probably not going to get a reprint anytime soon. And so if you do want to play with this effect and if you need that card, then it's probably best to just go out and get it.
Good place to look, y'all, is mtgstocks.com. That's the website I keep swapping back over to see where our all-time highs and lows are. This one, I think people thought it was going to pop off in a combo deck, because when planeswalkers enter, you're technically putting those counters on that permanent. And so a planeswalker entering when all will be one is on the battlefield is just a lot of damage to get to throw around. And so people were like, oh wait, it's more powerful than we thought it was. Oh, it's not quite as playable. You don't need 4.
But it's still good. It's still
good.
Okay.
Still absolutely good. Still really good. All-time high $18. Yeah, 10 not bad. Will it fall after rotation? Maybe. It's not really seeing a ton of play in standard, to my knowledge, at least that I've seen.
Combos with Quest of the Pure Flame. Yep, that's a good note.
Sword. Jake, do you remember how much this card previewed at?
I'm sure it was like probably at around like $30 just because it was a sword. Yeah.
This card premiered at $68. Look how fast this fall off was.
Yeah. That's not even surprising to me. That's just the whole pre-order hype phase, man. People get in there and they're like, oh, it's a sword. And then that's also an important time because that's 2019, which is around the start of the variant era. So people don't really know how or what volume cards are going to be reprinted. They don't really know about etched stuff yet. They don't really know the full extent of extended arts. So that's definitely something to take into consideration too. 2019 is a very important year for Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. Sword of Sinew and Steel is a good pickup now, y'all. Down to $10. It's still a sword. It's still a sword. This was another one, and I'm hoping that people remember this with me. Oh, it's got to be the Immortal Sun. Sorry. All-time high $43, and this was recently, y'all. 21. Up into the 40s. Yeah. This was one of those on that list of mythics from the Ixalan expansions, the 2 of those sets that were specific to the plane, and so they could only be reprinted in Masters sets or revisits to Ixalan, or now the special guest slot. But now, since we've seen it in Commander Masters and we got base copy and etched from that set, that has really pushed this price. You can see it stabilized out at like a $20-$30 card and just stayed there because people wanted it. Strong, really strong 6-mana artifact here, but a reprint, ding dong ding dong ding, goodbye. Now we're down into the $10 range, and that's where we want it to be if you want any of these cards. Hopefully you weren't holding these cards when they started going down in price.
There's the food chain I was talking about right next to it. Liliana of the Veil, Karn Liberated.
There are 3 cards I want to talk about in this little section here. Food chain, secret layer drop version, currently $9.83 because it doesn't look like a Magic card. And some people are going to be automatically turned off, not interested, because it doesn't look like a Magic card.
But it's also brand new too. Just came out. So it's like bunch of them on the market that could be affecting it too. But also it just got that reprint, so that's a big deal.
We got it in Double Masters 22, and base copies from Double Masters 22 are still at $20. And so right now, being able to snag a food chain, if you're okay with it not really looking like a Magic card, great pickup right now.
It definitely stands out on the table, right?
And then, bro, tell me in
Fallen
2018
from grace, man.
tell me in
It's just-
2018 that Liliana's going to be a $10 card.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You never think it. You never think it.
And people really did not want this version, I guess, because even the base copies here are $11.
I don't even think it's that. I mean, a Lavi reprint is so cool, but it's just a card that is fair. It's just a fair card these days. It used to be super pushed. It used to be a modern staple. It's still played a little bit, but
it's played in standard. I see it playing standard all the time. So many decks run this in standard. Yeah, it's just a playable standard fair card now, which is crazy. I wanted to talk about this one. This is not correct. This is not correct.
No, no. There's a $10 version right there.
There's a non-foil version of this.
Yeah, that's what that looks like there. Yeah.
I don't think that this one got a non-foil version. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this like the hard insert, the chunky? You know what I'm talking about? The little chunky card that comes in it. This is the thick hard stock. Yep. Okay, there we go. I saw this one when the list was going through, and I was like, this card's down to $10, but it didn't make sense. Yeah. So a lot of people bought this entire commander deck just for this card and a couple of the others, like the vampire.
Oh, I see. Got it.
But
it's a thick card.
This is the hard stock. This is that thick kind of card. I mean, if anybody's picking up my cards to check their thickness, I just don't think there's a table that's going to turn down, oh, I brought my thick version of Nicol Bolas the Ravager cute to brute. It seems playable to me. I don't think anybody's going to turn you down on that one. It's kind of strange. But look at this. People popped off about this card. It has held $10 though, and it's a rare. This is the Animist, the Sword of the Animist, but it's a germ. $15, all-time high, as low as 7, and creeping. I think people are seeing it. It's a living weapon for 3. It's a 1/1.
It's new. Got it.
Yeah, March of the Machine. You may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So, y'all, the reprintability of this one seems pretty low to me. This is tough because living weapon, very specific mechanic. But I think that people over time are going to want this card for their decks because people play the absolute hell out of Sword of the Animist.
Yeah, it's just redundancy on that effect.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. But you don't even have to attach it to anything. It comes in as a creature. So the potential exists for you to just be able to do this effect for 3 if you can get to your untap or give it haste somehow.
Yeah. You just need to be able to swing through at somebody because the 1/1 is very easy to block. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But you're getting the trigger. It's an attack trigger. You don't have to get through to get it.
That's right.
I think that this is one where when you're looking at the why is it $10, it's only this version. It's only March of the Machine Commander. You got the extended. See, that's the cheaper one right now. But it seems to be rising. This might be one that I would potentially pick up as a great pickup right now before it gets into that $15, $20 range. And they're like, all right, where do we put this for a reprint?
Now, Karn up there is a good one too, because Karn just kind of illustrates how card can be amazing in a deck, and then once that deck goes away, it just kind of falls into, you know, the $10 range. You're looking at a card that used to be $40, $50 when it was played in its heyday, when it was a 4 of in Tron decks. This card was extremely expensive, and now here it is. Very chill.
I'm actually interested in the original printing. Oh, this is the original printing. New Phyrexia is currently the cheapest available copy.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Look at what it used to be. It's insane, man.
Nearly $90.
This used to be a massive home run when you opened it in a pack. This used to be like, I remember opening this in a modern Masters 2015 pack and being like, finally, I got something good. Yeah. I mean, look. Like
as recently as 2018, just before the variant era, this was a $100 card some places.
Yep. This is why it's like, it's painful to look at charts like this, especially when you have cards like this, because obviously if it were a share of stock, right, you would be like, why did I not sell that thing when it was at $90? Now it's at 10. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. There, you can learn from it, whatever. But yeah, just know, like, stuff is getting printed into oblivion. So you get to look at old cards like this that were just absolute monsters in whatever format they were in. And now they've absolutely balanced out. A reminder, anybody who might just be joining in, this entire list of cards is above $9 and below $11. So we're in the $10 range here.
Yeah. Also a reminder, I just dropped a link there in chat when the bot gets around to it. But if you're going to go pick any of these cards up, use our TCG player link. If you're watching this video after the fact, the pinned comment has a affiliate link to TCG player. Click that before you buy anything on TCG player, anything, singles or packs. And it directly helps the channel at no extra cost to you. Thank you for doing that. I think that the point has been made. I really think that people should be looking at the $10 line specifically fairly often, just reviewing what's going up, what's coming down as far as the playables go. Are there any interesting cards in here that really stand out? And then go, why? Why are they standing out? Why is this card popping up? Is it on the way up? Is it on the way down? Celestine. Rainbow Foil still at 25. This is from the 40K decks. People calling it Living. People calling it Angel Sun Titan here. All-time high 16 for your base copy. 10 right now. Got down as low as 4. Suddenly people were like,
this
oh,
is a
wait,
great
it's
card.
good. Yeah.
This is a great card. Look at that dip.
Yep.
That was the market going, no, we want it.
Right.
We want this card.
Snap
Yeah,
them
this
all
is
up.
actually, this is a really fun list. And what's cool about this is you can do this with $20. You can do this with $30. You can do this with 40, 50, all the way up, and look at different cards at different levels. Look at when they were last reprinted. Look at when they, just look at the different factors. If you have multiple versions of stuff, you don't want to be the guy holding the 4 Karns when Karn was $90 and now it's 10. Just saying.
Don't buy Painter's Servant right now. It's a really bad time to buy Painter's Servant.
Yeah. So Alexander says, can you link the Scryfall query for that search? That will definitely be in the link to the description of the video. You can find that in there. Actually, here, we could just put that in there right now.
Yeah, here I'm updating it just a little bit. Some non-commander cards were getting in there, some cards that weren't in paper. So I updated the search parameters there, and we'll make sure that people watching this after the fact can also get it to include that only cards that are in paper and only cards that are legal in commander. That's all we were kind of looking at with this. So yeah. Let us know if any of these pique your interest, or any of them you're just like, I remember that being a $50 card. I can't believe it's 10, because that was what Jake and I did a lot of while we were going through this list. Like and subscribe. All right, chat. We appreciate y'all.
It was fun. It was fun. Another quick shout out to the Magic Summit, which is going to be October 26, 27, 28, 29. We are going to be there at the end of this month. Joel and I are going to be hanging out. We are going to be playing against fans. We're going to be playing against other creators. It's going to be a whole weekend of stuff. So if any of you are going to be there and you don't say hey, you're in trouble.
That's
you're
right.
absolutely in trouble. Come say hey if you're going to be there.
Yeah, you better come say hey. Grab a picture. You'll see it on Twitter. It's Halloween weekend, so it's spooky, BuzzFuzz.
Spooky.
Where else would you have your MTG Summit? When else?
The cosplayers don't make sense unless it's Halloween. That's what I've always said.
He's never said that. Cosplayers, don't listen to him. We love cosplayers.
No, they don't make sense unless it's Halloween, though, because Halloween is when you do outfits and costumes. Come on.
I wear outfits at like 4th of July. Not like a Michael Myers mask. I got booted. I got booted out of the fireworks show the one time I did that.
You wore all your red, white, and blue with your Michael Myers mask,
and I brought a knife and stabbed a guy.
Just dancing with it. Oh no. Yeah, well that will get you in trouble. Yeah, you don't want to do any knife stabs. It's like the worst day for whoever's on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, they just went to a 4th of July party and they were like, I got stabbed by a guy in a Michael Myers mask.
He was partying.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What else is going on? Oh, let's look at this real fast before we go, Jake. Amazon is having a big old sale right now. Y'all aware? Let's see what products they're dumping on the internet. Visit the Magic the Gathering store. Visit the Magic the Gathering store. Visit the Magic the Gathering store. Let's look at some deals. All right, so we got, hey, we were just talking about Dominaria Remastered. Okay, so if this ends up being a cut, we are looking at the Prime Big Deal Days. Prime Big Deal Days. There's no other information here about when it's actually going on. No. Where's the... Oh, join Prime deals end tonight. Okay, so this won't be a cut. We're just looking at this on stream, everybody. You won't see this on YouTube later. Apparently it ends soon. Use our Amazon affiliate link if you're gonna go buy any of this stuff. Dominaria United set booster box for $92. Brothers War bundle for $29. Dominaria Remastered collector booster box for $168. Jake, are you buying on that or not?
Nah.
Not interested at $168.
It's just...
You've been talking about wanting to buy a bunch of boxes, like a lot of boxes of Crimson Vow set boosters and store them, right?
That's a weird nightmare that you've been having that I've told you is not part of our reality.
Cases and cases and cases of Crimson Vow set boosters only.
I think those just keep arriving at your doorstep in your dreams alongside Nicolas Cage. And you're like, I don't know why he keeps bringing me all of these.
I like
Crimson
vampires.
Yeah. The Dominaria Remastered box is the closest thing that I'm interested in, the collector box. But
yeah,
Force of Will is not what it used to be. It's not the value that it used to be. The tutors in there, the enlightened, all of that stuff, they just don't have the value that they used to have. And so we're seeing the corrections, because I guarantee you what's happening is that product is just sitting on a shelf over there and they're going, how do we get rid of this? It also doesn't have a serialized thing. It doesn't have a confetti thing. It doesn't have a surge foil thing. It doesn't have some sort of big draw to it. It has some retro stuff going on, which is kind of cool, but yeah.
I wanted to look at what the most, as far as value goes, sorted by USD. It's 4 uncommons at the top of the list. Oh my God. What are these? $5 uncommon. Okay, so these aren't value plays. Anybody get the starter commander decks at all? Any of them? Chaos Incarnate, First Flight, Draconic Destruction, Grave Danger, or Token Triumph. Are these a good way to like introduce people?
Do you ever watch Hell's Kitchen or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah.
You know, one of Gordon Ramsay's biggest issues is when there's too many items on the menu.
Right.
That's
Decision
what's going
fatigue.
on. There's just too much shit.
Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. He's sitting there going, why do you have this one French dish in your diner that no one orders?
They'll be
that
like,
you have
I went to France one time and I learned how to make it.
Yeah, and it's like, and when was the last time you sold it?
It was 2
a
months
month ago.
Show me the
You don't need
ingredients.
it. Yeah, you don't need it. And then it's like all the shit is old because no one buys it. Just cut it from your menu. This
Seriously.
for me is just like, there's just too much stuff.
Yeah, okay,
There's just
channel.
too
That's
much.
what I kind of thought. Okay, channel said they're decent starters. They didn't make those for value though. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, 72 divided by 5, you're getting $14 per commander deck.
And they each have a soul ring, which is cool.
That's
They each
kind
have
of-
probably the basis of what a commander deck needs.
That's what I'm saying. This seems like a decent pickup if you look at it as these are going to be gifts to people that I introduce to Commander.
Oh, there you
Or
go.
I'm gonna be like, this is how I'm gonna get them into Commander. I'm gonna be like, okay, if you were a magical wizard, would you rather fight with flying creatures, with dragons, with zombies, with an army of like plants that you've arisen, or with the power of chaos on your side? Let them pick one. $14. Those seem like pretty good gifts.
Yeah, I think $14 to just have a night of Commander with some people that don't typically play it. I think this is fine, but yeah, for me, no, easy pass. Yeah, but still not hating on a deck for $14. If you don't have a deck, $14 is a nice onboarding price for somebody who may or may not like it, you know?
Right. Looking at Dominaria Remastered, I want to see what our cards are here. The Force of Wills,
just tutors and
the
force.
Vamp Tutors, Urza's Incubators, and Sylvan Libraries. Look at that. Holy shit. It's literally 3 cards.
Yeah, it's a really boring set. I'm not going to lie. It's got some good stuff in it, but it's extremely boring. It's just not a ton going on. There are good variants of stuff. You got some really nice RKF art on some tutors. You've got some nice Commander pickups, but we've seen what's happened with Urza Lord High Artificer. The card has just been printed into oblivion, has no value anymore. There's some fun stuff in here. We got that No Mercy reprint. This was a set that we were pretty hyped on, but this is what happens when you reprint all of the mythics. They're like, what card should we reprint over and over? Well, let's reprint Urza Lord High Artificer over and over and over again. Well, what happens is that card no longer has value, and even though it's a fun card and you get your game pieces, what ends up happening is it doesn't have much value, so people don't want to pay a premium price for a Dominaria Remastered collector booster when you really just don't have a lot of top end chance at even paying for the pack.
So these are all of the singles in this set, chat, sorted by price, high to low. All the different variants, everything is included. You can see all the 3 different Yawgmoths there and where they fall in ranking of price. This is an $11 card. This is a $9.90 card. And so right here is the line. I just want y'all to be aware of where the line is, because every card you see from now on as I'm scrolling down is cheaper than $10. And the further we scroll down, the cheaper it is on that $10. Right now, you can get RKF Mystical Tutor for $6.79. It's time to do great pickups, Dominaria Remastered, I think, Jake.
It's a fine set for retro fishing, I guess. If you want to go retro fishing.
Well, you're not value fishing in this set anymore. You're looking at this set as a juicy Golden Corral buffet of Commander playables in multi versions. I mean, just within Tomb and Dominaria Remastered. True. Base copy, retro copy, crazy looking Ron Spencer copy.
Entomb used to be one of those cards that was very expensive when it just got reprinted in Eternal Masters, for example. Yep. But since then, it's been reprinted in tons and tons and tons of stuff. So it's kind of like where we are.
You keep repeating yourself. You keep repeating yourself. You keep saying that, Jake. Why does it happen so much?
Yeah. It's reprinted.
Eternal Masters got as high as $40 all time in 2022.
Yeah, I just remember all this stuff. My mind is a steel trap for this shit. Yeah. I mean, that's the great Fallout. Sneak Attack used to be an expensive card. Maze of Ith used to be an expensive card. There used to be a guy that collected all of the Eternal Masters Maze of Ith. And man, I hope he got out of that. That was a poor choice.
I want to say when we were previewing this, we looked at Gauntlet of Power at Mythic, and we were like, oh, nice. Yeah, that's a $20 hit.
Wow.
Never even got up that high. Never even crossed the $10 mark for a Mythic.
Yeah, Dominaria Remastered, this is what happens, is it was like a smaller set, it felt like, and then everything got 3 versions. So, like, if everything in the set gets 3 versions, it's just...
And look, y'all, Ravnica is going to do the exact same thing. This is just a formula now. Because at the time, this set, everybody loved it. We loved opening it. It was fun to Did we draft this one? We did
I don't know
draft
if we
this one,
did.
didn't?
Maybe we did.
I can't
Maybe
remember.
we drafted it.
Hunting Grounds. This was like a $20 card plus. Look at that. Mythic. $1. So yeah, I mean, the question is here, is a collector booster box of this worth it at $200? And I've got to go with, or even 168. I got to go with no on this one because that set has corrected. We are past value on boxes on that. I would almost lean more towards like, if they were offering a Dominaria draft box, Dominaria remastered draft box, that would be better to pick up because you could pull it out in 5 years and say, hey, y'all want to draft Dominaria remastered. Maybe potentially pull some cool hits there. So yeah, I mean, I know these have been changing all day, and and yesterday I checked them a couple of times, but like Dominaria remastered, I think that was the best collector box I saw for sale on here. I think there was Brothers War Commander collector boosters of Brothers War on here at one point, but those must have sold out, because at least in that you can go hunting for serialides, right? If you're just buying it for a value play.
Yeah, you can find a serialized card, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the kind of thing that they need in order to move these sets moving forward. So,
it's going to have to be. I mean, look at the Doctor Who set. What's going to move Doctor Who collectibles? Collector boosters, because everybody, you can just buy the decks straight up. Is it spelled out, Doctor? Yes. Sorting price high to low. $263 for a display collector booster right now. You can get all the books.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
No way, dude. You can get all of them for about $230 right now, so just over $50 a pop. But
yeah,
the thing with
I
these
also don't like
boxes,
$88 extended art Everybody Lives either.
No, I do not. Every pack contains 12 foil cards. Oh, they don't even have in here that you have a chance to pull serialized. But I know that that's part of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they don't have that on there.
I know that that's a thing. Traditional foils, surge foils. Showcase variants.
It's down more.
Only in collector boosters for these showcase variants. And then the serialized
yep,
here.
they're there. Yeah, they're there.
Each card receives only about 500 printings and can only be found in collector boosters. One of each each main incarnation of the Doctor from 1 to 13. And so you've got 13 cards with roughly 500 variants or 500 serialized that's found in less than 1% of Doctor Who collector boosters. But they know that they have to put something in here like this to drive it. And honestly, Jake, we'll have to look at Lord of the Rings, but that was more heavily produced and open. Lord of the Rings is going to probably go down in history as like a beloved set because it was just kind of a home run across the board for everybody, even skeptics. But Doctor Who is more niche. It's not as widely loved. A lot of people, me and him, don't know shit about this show. And so we don't connect to these and we don't care. So we're definitely not buying collector boosters to crack. And wouldn't that mean overall, if I just extrapolate my single solo experience out, that there's going to be a bunch more people who have no idea about the show, do not care, aren't spending money on the product, less will be open and these prices will be higher? Is that potential?
Retro MTG is saying there's an insane amount of rares and mythics and collector boosters. Yeah, I've seen some of the openings. Yeah, you have to hit the serialized thing or else everything else is pretty much going to bottom out. You're going to have a chance to find the commander cards in there and that kind of thing, but it really is just like Secret Lair. If you like it, get it. And if not, don't feel the FOMO like you're going to miss out. I know that a lot of people feel like whenever a new set comes out, they have to buy it because it's whatever's new. And so it's almost like this subconscious. I need to be relevant. I need to be buying whatever the newest hottest thing is in order to be like, interesting or whatever. That's just not the case.
Oh, Peter Capaldi was the 12th Doctor. That's pretty cool.
The doctor. There's a lot of really good doctors over the years.
He was the bad guy in the remake of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Annie loves this show, so Annie likes
she's
a lot
a
of
Doctor
it.
Who watcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and her family, people in her family like it. Her sister likes it.
Yeah, this is
But
cool.
Jake, how will I be a good commander player if I don't get the new thing? You have to figure it out.
Get that on a t-shirt.
Your commander player is within. Commander player is within, not without.
The real commander players are the friends we made along the way. That kind of works, actually.
That's right.
All right, I wanted to see what the hubbub was about the sale. There's one other little thing, and I have nothing else unless Jake, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I don't. What is your one other thing?
There was a leak. There was a leak of a card. So if you don't want to see leaks, if you don't want to see cards ahead of time that aren't open to the public yet, I'm going to spoilers. Here it is. I've been told it's one of the face commanders for the precons from Ixalan.
Well, it wouldn't be magic if there weren't a leak.
Right. Well, have you seen, the meme of the guy like holding hands with his girlfriend and he's looking back at the other girl? I saw one that was like MTG players and the new set is holding their hand, looking at them all pissed off that they're looking at the new thing, and the new girl, it says grainy, blurry phone pictures of a card that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what people want to see.
I'm pretty sure I can guess what channel this is appeared on.
Yeah, you can. You already know you can. This is it though. So as you know, with Ixalan, we're getting four new commander decks are coming out in Ixalan, one for each of the major creature types that are represented on that plane. Human/dinosaurs, vampires, merfolk, and pirates. This seems to be the face commander for the vampire deck. Clavelino, first of the blessed. It says whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon in addition to its other types. It gains when this creature dies, draw a card, and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. Seems pretty cool. Good board wipe protection. You got to be a vampire deck, obviously, but like my Edgar deck, this would be fantastic right when I'm ready to swing. Drop this down, full swing out. They all turn into demons with that win clause, and then whenever they die, they all turn into 4/3 flyers, and I get to draw a card for each of them. Sheesh.
Yeah. Hey, did you get that card that I sent you in the mail? Wait, what card? Oh, I mean, it wasn't a card. It was, we accidentally sent you a little leak. I don't know if you're at your house, but if you want to open it up, maybe do a little picture of it, put it on Reddit or something. Let people know about the leak. We just got done with the Doctor Who stuff, and
gotta get people hyped back up if they didn't
we
care.
gotta get. Yeah, and so I don't know if you just did your nails. I know you always do your nails, and so were you able to possibly, if you could just do like a really quick, whoops, I don't even know where this card came from.
Oopsie doopsie.
Maybe say you found it at like a CVS or a Walgreens, just like some sort of quick little leak. Maybe
No,
Jake, wood floor in the background.
You're totally doing it wrong. You gotta say, so say in the post that you accidentally open this in a March of the Machine Aftermath booster, that'll push sales of those. That set didn't sell very well, but people will know if it's a garbage set. But if they know there's a new card or potentially future cards in there, they'll open it in droves. If you could just say that, that'd be fantastic. But yeah,
Wildcat says, I like to think that's literally the only painted fingernail.
they just prepped a little bit. Yeah, so that's the leaked card. It's a good vampire. Those creature types, y'all. Look for cards of those creature types that seem scarce. If you have
He's got
them,
a good mustache.
you should probably flip it. Oh yeah,
Good little
when I
mustache.
like the like these are the, they made the vampires like a conquistador feel. That's their vibe on this plane, is the vampires are conquistadors. And so I really like having a tilde N name, Clavelino. That is, it's like, oh wow, this vampire is definitely from Spain.
It's a demon from Spain.
Vampire cleric that turns your vampires that attack into demons when they attack, and then gives them a crazy clause that death is drawing a card. I mean, yeah, draw out your whole, just like attack with your whole board. Play this into a board ready to attack, full attack. Correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever you attack, this is going to trigger for each individual attacking creature. So we'll make the target attacking vampire that isn't a demon. So everybody becomes demons.
Oh no, it's on the attack.
Yeah.
So you get to pick one target attacking vampire that isn't a demon.
So whenever you attack is not going to look at like 3 different creatures attacking. It's not going to go trigger.
No, it's going to be whenever you go into your attack phase, I believe. So it's like you're going to be like on attack. This target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon. I don't think it's everybody. Chat, you can check me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it doesn't say whenever a vampire, right?
That would be whenever a creature you control attacks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Clavelino looks good. We'll have to check with the rules.
No, it's fine. It's just on the attack, you get to do it with one thing. Yeah, so it's because that is the difference, like Travis is saying. It would be whenever a creature you control attacks, you'd get that trigger.
But when you attack, this is like when you attack, you've attacked.
Yeah,
it's one big attack.
I'm going into my attack phase. Do you have any response? Yeah. And then when you say no, I say, okay, I turn things sideways. And then I say on the attack, I'm having this one thing happen.
That is less bonkers than I was making it out to be in my head, but still good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's still a little leak that got sent in the mail to somebody with some nice new nails. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that this appeared from anywhere other than an envelope in the mail.
Right. Well, I mean, right. Like, where the hell could you have even found this?
Where'd you find it?
Yeah.
Where'd you find it? Oh, it's in my, what was crazy is in my Doctor Who bundle.
I got it from my P.O. box. I mean, my Doctor Who box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chat. That's going to do it.
It's a fun one, though. We talked about some $10 commander cards that are good and a good way to keep those on your radar.
Yes.
We talked about our favorite pickups from Doctor Who.
Woo!
You could find all of this in the chapters if you're watching it later. We'll update those.
I don't know why you're watching this part if you're watching it after the fact to learn about what's in the stream.
You probably aren't. But if you just got here, you can go back and watch. And then a big shout out to the Magic Summit, which is going to be at the end of this month. And Joel and I will be there along with a huge other lineup of guests.
Yep. Way more famous than us.
Prolific writers there. A lot. If we are molecularly famous, these are people that are much more famous. These are
amoeba famous. Amoeba to like enormous. I mean,
yeah.
Baxter Bachersan is really famous.
Yeah, Baxter will be there, and he is going to be signing some books. He's going to be playing some Magic. There's also going to be a professional or a former professional football player there that everybody knows about. There's a football player that plays Magic that's going to be there.
A former professional Hearthstone player there.
That's right. That's right. There's going to be a lot of folks, and then you're going to have 2 people that formerly were. Didn't have a YouTube channel that are going to be there, and that is going to be us.
Warehouse workers. So, we were previously warehouse workers.
That's right. I worked at an antique store for a little while too. That was fun.
So chat, we will be back next week on the 18th with our regularly scheduled programming. The MTG Summit is that next week, so we will not be here live for the 25th. We'll be at the summit. But the day before that, on the 24th, mark your calendars, we will be live for our midday stream on the 24th, on that Tuesday, for the preview of Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
I thought that full set was already previewed.
No, it hasn't fully leaked yet.
Who knows?
But on the 24th is when the previews begin. That's when the set debuts. That's when we'll get the video where it goes over the mechanics of the set and it shows us the planeswalker that's going to be in the set, and it shows us a couple of, like, it'll show us the second most hyped special guest card in the Mana Crypt slot. But that'll happen about noon, 1 o'clock Eastern on the 24th, and that'll be our last stream before we go to the summit, before Halloween. That's our next couple of weeks, all summarized for your pleasure.
Look out for more videos. They're going to be coming up in the next few days. They are constantly coming out.
So yeah, new video out tomorrow. We got what we would buy in October. So we're doing our 10, 100, 500, 1,000 levels. We shot that on Monday, and that'll be out tomorrow. So look out for that one. Go leave a comment. I think I'm out. I think I'm tapped.
I'm out. I'm going to go get some food. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out.
Hey, if you were the sleeves winner, don't forget to message me if you haven't already. Other than that, thanks to the summit for sponsoring. Love you, mean it. We outie. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Good night.
I won big on Drake and Josh's gig or no shield.